Final round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Ideal day. Excellent leaderboard with Fowler and Mickelson among those trying to chase down Danny Lee. Huge crowds already jammed into the famous 16th hole. There is nothing like it.
Dogleg right. He's been really good on the little cut drives. He hasn't hit too many of those today, but this is a good opportunity for him to just hit a slider left or right.
Agreed, Johnny. A 3-wood, I think, would make the fairway effectively a little wider. It's easy to drive it through the fairway down the left-hand side. So, hole's only 434.
Yeah, no.
It's not necessary to hit driver here. There's really no one to speak of.
Well, he might be just sort of taking something off it and hit that little cut.
Right.
But I think if I was caddying for him, it would have been a 3-wood. Didn't look like he took anything off it, but hit a beauty.
That looked like the rhythm he had yesterday.
Yeah, that was really, really nice. And it's amazing. He's not a big guy, and he just hits it a long ways, like Rory McIlroy. Same sort of thing.
He had the longest drive at 18 yesterday.
Yeah.
Fowler did. Over at 10 now, up ahead for birdie. Mickelson. Maybe he can get a long one to go.
Well, they're just not going in today.
Back on the tee for this powerful swing. As we look at it, time now for Pro Tracer technology presented by Scottrade.
Got to watch out for that right bunker.
I'm still just mesmerized at the thought of Johnny caddying for Rickie Fowler.
In a tunic.
That's right.
That'll be interesting.
I could do it. I'll tell you, I could be a heck of a caddy. I know that.
As long as you got a card.
I don't know if I could carry the clubs. That's a big thing. Three beauties. I think that's inside the bunker line. Ooh, man, that's not a good break.
The edge.
Literally missed out by a foot.
So Matsuyama and Fowler in good shape. Danny Lee in the sand.
It's amazing when things aren't going real well. You get 3 over par. Stuff like that happens.
Up ahead of the green, Mulder trying to stay one back.
Really hits up on him, as you can see there.
Mulder all of a sudden has a couple of bogeys in the last 4 holes. Drops to 9 under, 2 back. And still has 8 holes to heat up as the Waste Management Phoenix Open continues to heat up in the Arizona desert. Rickie Fowler looking to stay on top. Mickelson looking to catch fire still.
Brendan Steele now at 17. Steele, big tall player, goes at it quickly. 6 under par. He's got a nice week going. Now this a little short than what we've seen from a few others, but there's nothing wrong with that angle coming into the green. He's riding a streak of birdies at 15 and 16. So a chance to make it 3 in a row. All pars, interestingly, for Brendan Steele all the way up until the 15th. He was level through 14 holes. William McGirt. And McGirt coming off of that beautiful tee shot at 16. That led to birdie. First of the day for him. Oh, he might be in danger here. Might be. It runs right to the hazard line. It's interesting. The volunteer wanted to mark it. McGirt was happy he didn't have to. He thought that might have been a little unlucky. Brett Stegmeyer now. Stegmeyer. Deep pin position here. 16. This one's going to run off the edge. That will lead to a loud chorus of boos. And even worse than that, it sits down in that rough.
Out at 11.
Harris English, second shot on the way. Back right hole location. Tough to get the ball anywhere near this hole. Coming out of the rough, wisely playing left.
Wasn't easy yesterday either, was it?
No, it's just a hard hole, Johnny.
The course is tougher, no doubt. Tom Weiskopf talked to him on the phone 2 days ago, and He said, imagine if this course they tightened the fairways and had 4 inches of rough. It'd be, you could hold any championship here.
So here's Lee, ball below his feet a little bit, David.
Yeah, it is 140 yards, 139 rather. Got a pitching wedge here. Drive this in a little low and get a decent first bounce and then check.
These bunkers are so brilliantly white. They would have been tough for you to play with, David, in the morning.
Yeah, no kidding. I'd be staggering around there blinded.
In a previous life.
Yeah, the ball you can see below his feet, he's going down to get it right there. You can see how his head's way down, bent over it. Look how he stays down on it, folks. A lot of you out there are already popping up to see where it's going, but stay down, hit the ball first if you can.
So Danny Lee hanging in there to 16.
This is Chris Kirk. Boy, a lot of guys coming through here having a struggle today, over par. Chris Kirk 2 over on his round today. But he plays a beauty.
That is one smooth swing, isn't it?
Boy, he's got a great action. Remember, he was on the winning President's Cup team last fall.
What a putt he made.
Yes, he did, for Captain Jay Haas.
We think Matsuyama is next to play. And in fact, he is, David.
Well, he also has pitching wedge, and you might just want to take a little bit off this, Johnny. 132 yards, as firm as this green is.
There's a birdie opportunity with these tee shots. Both of these guys, Fowler and Matsuyama, are both 1 under for the day, which surely isn't bad golf, but one of these two players, I think, is going to separate themselves from the field. Might start right here, David.
Checks it up.
Pretty nice.
Mentioned how Fowler hit the longest drive at 18 yesterday, Roger. A bomb of 336 yards, and he's last to hit here again.
Yeah, well, this one not quite like the drive he hit at 18 yesterday. That was a rocket, but on the left side of the fairway here, so not the best angle to get at this flagstick. He's got 132. And you know, this is just, the greens are firm enough, Johnny. You got to be a little careful. You carry it in there a little too deep, knock it over this green, and you could find yourself in a predicament.
I agree. This is a good chance for him to make birdie.
Right. Same shot with this I just did. Yeah, I like that.
Flag is right over here. Well, Roger's calling every ball right now. Yeah, Rickie, who didn't want him to come up short in the last hole, he did. Didn't want him to go long here, did.
Up to 11.
Lengthy birdie putt for Harris English. And this one uphill, so you can give it a little bit of a hit. Should work a little to the right as it gets around the hole. Well, that's nicely done. So it should be a par 4 there for English.
Over at the 10th, Fowler.
Delicate shot down the hill. Looks
Wow.
good. Looks
A
good.
touch. What a touch by Fowler.
How about that? Is it the start of the separation?
Well, if Fowler gets to 16 with a lead, it'll be a jungle indeed. Another look at this touch.
And we all know it, that he's the best on the leaderboard.
It's a jungle at the 10th now as Fowler moves clear of everyone by 1. And so now Lee to get it to 11 under. And Danny Lee follows that in.
That's what he's been looking for.
So the good buddies go back to back with birdies, and there is Lee's first of the day.
Didn't expect that. We can see that grip that he uses out of the bunker to make birdie.
He's not going to get the huge roars of Fowler, but plenty of supporters for Danny Lee in search of his second PGA Tour win. Now Matsuyama, can he make it a perfect threesome?
Won't hurt his feelings if he doesn't.
Just a little glider to the right.
3 for 3, no.
How close can you get? Just a little harder and you had it.
So they settle for a 2 under among the threesome there, and Fowler emerges on top. Again, earlier we had a 5-way tie for the lead. Not many players more popular than Rickie Fowler, and when he's filling it up, he's hearing it.
Top of the green, Martin Laird, long range putt here. This is close to 60 feet. And this is straight down the fall line. And a pretty good roll. And Laird, he knows about these desert tracks. Spends a lot of time in Scottsdale, Arizona area. Scottish born, resides in the States. Now Chris Kirk at 17, 2 under par. And Kirk trying to get this on the green. It's just gonna hop onto the front edge and start working a little bit towards the pin. So not a bad spot at all. It gives him a chance to try and set up an eagle putt from there. Birdie try now at 18 for Ben Crane. 5 under. His tracking just slid past the left side of the cup. So with that, Crane, a tap in. Par. He'll mark and make sure he's out of the way of the others. Kyle Stanley now, past champion, 1 under par. Stanley. This is trouble. A big hop into the hazard bordering the left side of the screen. And the marshal quickly there to put a mark on it.
And we're back at the 11th. Rickie Fowler, fresh off his birdie. Tough tee shot here. You really want to hit it up the right center of the fairway if you can. Water on the left. You want to avoid that. Well, that's a beauty. That is right up the left center of the fairway. Aggressive tee shot. Really well done. So we go to the 12th.
And Harris English at this 194-yard par 3.
Got a nice swing, good tempo. He's a very calm-looking person on the outside of when you watch him. And a good chance for birdie right there.
Excellent chance to get it to 12 under and back to 11.
Hideki Matsuyama ready to play.
Only got 1 win to his credit in the 14 Memorial.
Yeah, a lot of top 5 finishes, John. He gets in contention a lot. Hasn't been able to quite close the door.
Yeah, he could use a win right now. He's a gun.
All right, up at the green, Phil Mickelson has a putt for a rare birdie on this hole, Mark. We've only had 3 here all day.
Boy, he could use one, Gary. He needs to try and create a little spark of enthusiasm like Fowler just did back at 10.
Well, especially with the 2 par 5s coming up that he can easily reach into. 13 and 15.
He's had 2 bogeys and a birdie. Hasn't really made much, Mark.
No, he hasn't really hit it close either, though.
Is he going to reach? Going to reach? That's been the story of his week. Bryce Mulder with a chance for a 3. Went to that Matt Kuchar style of putting last fall. Johnny saying that he felt like it was going to make him a better putter, although statistically it hasn't shown that yet. He's always been pretty good the other way.
It's a good way to putt.
Yeah, I agree. Now Rickie Fowler providing the excitement. Chip in at the 10th. Yeah, right now you're right, Rickie. You're number 1. You're atop the leaderboard. We'll be back with more after this.
Just in front of the green, this is actually the 3rd for Kyle Stanley, because he did go into the canal, so had to take the penalty stroke, but now scrambling for par. And so Stanley's left with that. He easily could have gotten that a little closer, probably not pleased with that, but probably rattled by finding that lake along the left. Now in front of the pin at 18, uphill, has to land softly. Just going to try and bounce it on. Nothing wrong with that. It's somewhat unpredictable when you send it on its way. Just pitched into the side hill, but at the very least it kills the speed. Now, with this putt across the green, after getting on with his tee shot, Chris Kirk can pick up 2 shots on the field if he can make it. 45 feet. And that looks good. So close. So Kirk close to delivering. He will tap in for a birdie at 17. It'd be the first of this entire round. This used to be a scoring paradise in the desert, but he missed out on birdie at the par 5 3rd, bogeyed the 9th, bogeyed the 10th. So that gets him back to 1 over on the round. Rickie Fowler with that big putt hold, getting to 12 under, up by a shot. 3-way tie for second, though, right there on his heels.
Welcome back. And while we were away, Danny Lee played this second shot here at the 11th, playing from the fairway. No surprise there. Leads the field in driving accuracy this week. And does a good job there. Johnny gets in there just about hole high. An uphill putt.
Back out to 11.
Rickie Fowler after another good drive here, Raj. And Hideki Matsuyama managed to hit his second shot onto the green.
And this from 181. Hole tucked near the right side. I still think you need to favor just a wee bit left to the hole here. But a place for him to try to hit that cut if he can. Boy, and he's doing it, and it is just left to the hole.
Oh, this is one of the better shots we've seen. Very nicely played. That's a shot we haven't seen Rickie play a lot of until just recently, Johnny, where he's getting the ball to move left to right.
Boy, what a valuable shot, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Could help him win major championships, too.
Well, he said that's the next goal, you know, how he's going to elevate his status even more.
And over at the par 5 13th, this is Charles Howell, the 3rd for his birdie. Don't forget about Charles. Yeah, it gets him to 9 under and just 3 back. Hard to believe this guy's only got 2 wins on his resume. He is so talented.
A boatload of career money, though.
Just like this guy, Harris English, with a couple of wins and a chance here for a birdie too, Noda.
Yes, I ran into English this morning in the hotel lobby, and he actually liked his chances. He referenced the low scores that were out there yesterday, a couple nice scores, and he knew it was going to take a big one, and this certainly would go a long way toward that.
He's having a heck of a day so far.
After those 4 birdies in the first 6 holes, another par for English. Stuck on 11 at the moment. Rickie Fowler breaking away from the pack for now.
At the 9th, birdie try for Anirban Lahiri of India. And looking at this one, just inside of 20 feet. Lahiri, like many others, it falls just below where that pin is set today. Hole location on a little bit of a fall line makes it difficult to diagnose. William McGirt now, and a chance to get to 5 under. McGirt coming in with a nice closing stretch. Birdies at 16, 17, and 18 for McGirt. He converts that to get to 1 under on the day, finishing 5 under par. Now, Lahiri to clean up at 9 and a par. So 4 under. And Lahiri finishing up his day. Anirban happy to have a full schedule to work with on the PGA Tour this year. Now Overton standing over this. And a pretty good save after he pitched it from the bottom right shelf, able to get it onto the green and pick up a par. So that's a nice scrambling save there. Billy Horschel 5 under, this at 9. He was up the left side through the fairway and trying to get it to hold. Well, out of that rough, difficult to do that. And that will sit right next to that sprinkler, that drainage. And we'll find out whether he'll get a drop or not. So Fowler up by a shot. Hideki Matsuyama at 11 under par. We'll have a look at a birdie coming up in just a moment. We'll see if he can pocket one to rejoin Rickie.
Hideki Matsuyama eyeing a long putt here for birdie, David, and one I'm sure he'd be more than happy to just get somewhere near the hole.
Yeah, it's a difficult putt here just to lay this close. Bulge on the right here is going to toss it to his left, and then anything, if he leaves it to the right of the hole or gets it going long, it just wanders off.
65 feet, Gary?
Yeah, John's got to be in that neighborhood. And watch the length of this backstroke. I mean, this guy really makes a big swing with the putter on these length putts.
It'll get shorter as he gets older.
Yeah, we can assure him of that, can't we?
He doesn't rush it when he gets over it.
He sort of freezes up a little at over the ball before he takes it back, but 23 years old.
That was not particularly good.
Well, Lee and Fowler exchanging birdies on the last hole, and there really is a genuine camaraderie between Danny Lee and Rickie Fowler. Yesterday, we saw them having some fun during a break in play, and that playful friendship goes back to their amateur days. It took an entertaining turn last summer and at last year's Tour Championship when Rickie toilet papered Danny's parking spot, posting it on Twitter, and then Danny getting back at Rickie by having a table parked behind his car in the parking lot. So I asked Danny last night if another Rickie prank is in the offing.
Bracing myself for it, and hopefully I can still play golf.
I think he'd try and argue it, but he started it, and I would just repay the favor, and he'd do something back. And he tried to call truce after he did something to me, but he started the whole thing, so you can't end it if you started it. That's not how it works.
He always says that, but truth is he always starts.
Both these 20-somethings having a lot of fun with each other, but Rickie, obviously the guy with a huge star power, and Danny Lee, liked by a lot of players out there. He's a lot more fun. He's funnier than he thinks he is.
He looks like so straight, you know,
Yeah.
like wouldn't be a chuckle type of guy, but he is.
All right, that birdie effort wanders on by the hole.
But that speaks to Rickie's popularity, Gary, you know, even beyond just the masses of people that follow him around tournaments and on Twitter and on Instagram. I mean, he's well liked by all of his PGA Tour mates, and they can be a big star or not so big star. He's just a magnet with everybody.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Dan, and we're seeing that a lot with a lot of the 20-somethings out here on tour. And you see there, Rickie made a bunch of putts the first round, and since it hasn't been all that great.
In the hole!
We'll move up 1 to 12.
194-yard par 3 from Mickelson. Still looking for that spark.
Well, he's hitting it well. Number 2 in total driving and ball striking this week, and number 1 in proximity to the hole. So, Phil, you should be winning this week.
Matsuyama faces a lengthy putt here for a par, and it should have some turn in it, shouldn't it, David?
Yeah, and you know, I couldn't muscle my way in there to get a really good look at this, but it certainly does look. Is it a little right to left?
Yeah, that should be the call. You have to keep the speed up, a little bit uphill as well.
Yeah, a little bit uphill.
Okay, that was good and firm. Right center putt. And he remains one off the lead. And we go over to the 15th, par 5. Zach Johnson electing to putt from just short of the green here in 2. This should swing back to the right pretty good at the end. Beautifully judged. So the champion golfer of the year will make an easy birdie there and get to 7 under par. Danny Lee now for his par at 11. Okay. Safely in. Johnny, there's about 3 holes or so on this back 9 that if you can make pars, that's really what all you're looking for, because there are some birdie holes back here.
It's a great 9 holes because it sort of gives you and takes things away from you if you don't watch out.
A lot of risk reward at 13, 15, 17 with the tees moved up. All right, Fowler for his par.
Yeah, there shouldn't be much left in this, but that first putt he had, in his defense, it was a hard putt. Downhill, awkward looking thing. It would have been, I think, a very hard putt to hole.
Gary, don't you think we got to get Raj a pair of those high tops?
Oh, I think he'd look good in those.
How about the pig pants, Raj?
What makes you think I don't have both of them?
Just a guess.
Come on.
With your new body.
I'm with you. The old ankle snatchers.
I got to ask my 23 grandkids if that's a cool look or not. I haven't figured it out.
They'll say yeah. Now Mickelson a long ways at the 12th for birdie. He's been close with a few long ones, and that just tells the story. Mickelson grinds on. He's running out of holes, though, and it's 5 back of Rickie Fowler. Final round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open on the back 9 at TPC Scottsdale.
Chris Kirk looks like he's in the upslope of this bunker, right of the fairway. Drove at 294, has 150 coming in. And that will hop into the green side bunker. So it was a little bit of a hook lie, but then also coming in with some of that side spin, it took an awkward hop. So a small section of the green to try and get up and down. Michael Kim now at 9. This for birdie, downhill, and should break a little right to left. Hold your line. It does. And Michael Kim had that one in the center of the cup. So he picks that out of the cup and picks up a birdie. Kyle Stanley, 1 under. This the finishing hole. Stanley with 139 coming in. Drove it 294. And below the hole, chance to putt it straight up the hill and see if he can pick up a birdie. Stanley winning this Waste Management Phoenix Open in 2012. Jeff Ogilvy off the mark here at the 9th. So the group finishing up here. Ogilvy will put a mark on that.
Back here in Scottsdale, Boo weekly for par while we were away, trying to stay at that 9 under number within touch. And he is still within 3 of Fowler's lead. So now we're live back on the tee for Rickie Fowler, Roger.
And I'm feeling just a gentle breeze from right to left, which will help getting that ball over to the left side of the green. But those bunkers on the left, or that bunker on the left, really does protect this hole location.
Middle of the green is
always
just
good.
fine. Just fine.
Always
here.
good here, yeah.
It's a long, narrow green, folks, not very wide, so accuracy is a premium.
Yeah, this is right at the center of the green.
Yeah, that's very nice.
And up to 13.
Harris English in the desert with his tee shot here.
Very lucky.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't roll any further, and he's just trying to lay this up, put himself in position for a pitch. Yeah, frustrating to miss that fairway. Everybody's taking advantage of the 13th. Back to 12.
And Danny Lee's turn. And if you just joined us, he began this final round with a 3-shot lead, made 3 early bogeys, lost it, now is still staying in the game. Just one back to 16.
Zach Johnson on the tee.
Good hole location for him.
Yeah, really good. He's having a good day. He's 2 under.
Plays that sweeping draw right to left.
He's been fighting the putter, but he's made some putts this week, and that is well done. Back to 12.
And Matsuyama to play, David.
With the 7-iron. And he can draw it. And a little right to left wind will help.
Takes a nice little hop. And comes back just a little bit.
It's a good shot.
Yep. Matsuyama one back, and so is English, and he's over at 13.
Yeah, with this 108-yard sandwich. This is a complicated hole location here. It's tricky. It's right in between 2 veins on the green. And oh, he pulled that back beautifully. Watch that, though. It's going to turn to the right. It's pretty good. Let's go to join Dan and Johnny in the 18th tower.
All right, well, we actually have Jim Trevathan, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Waste Management. And Jim, good to see you. And I know that this is the first year of a 10-year deal, an extended deal here with this TPC Scottsdale event. How happy are you that you've extended, and what do you think of the record-breaking crowds that we've seen this week?
Oh, Dan, it's fantastic. I had the privilege of playing in the Pro-Am this week. I think we had 62,000 people for a Pro-Am. Very impressive, very intimidating as well, by the way. But we're thrilled. We're thrilled to move forward with the Thunderbirds, wonderful partners, the PGA Tour. We look forward to 9 more years after this one of great golf. Customer entertainment as well, and this, if you can't have a good time at the Phoenix, at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, it's not possible.
We touched on it earlier, the recycling efforts and that message by Waste Management and your folks, and really emphasizing educating kids and getting the message out early to get them in the practice. How's that going?
Absolutely. We've set up kiosks all over the facility. I heard Johnny earlier talk about his 23 grandkids. I just had number 9 a couple of days ago, and I think they know more about it than we do, Dan. We've set up those kiosks to educate. Maybe it's grandparents, Johnny, that need the education the most. But we want to take this message and extend it both to our customers as they leave this site, but also to the fans. 600,000 fans this week. We want them to see what we do on site. We've created an event. Again, 600,000 people generate a lot of waste material, and not 1 pound of that material left and went to a landfill. All of it, every pound, recycled, reused, or composted. And we'd like people to take that lesson with them. We've basically said, let's learn it here and let's go live it everywhere.
Well, congratulations to you and the Thunderbirds. I know it's a group effort, and the crowds that have been just flocking to this tournament. You think sooner or later, Jim, it's going to be capped. I mean, it just doesn't seem like you can get over 200,000 or much more than we had yesterday in the record-breaking Saturday, but they just keep coming.
Well, our operating team might agree with you, but I think the Thunderbirds and PGA Tour would like to see what the limit is. Let's go forward and break the record next year.
Well, I would not doubt an even bigger attendance figure next year. Jim, thanks for all you do for this tournament and for the charities
Good
involved.
to be a part of it. Thank you.
Jim Trevathan with Waste Management. Over at the 12th, Danny Lee with his second. And a chance to save par and stay at that 11 under number. Tough is it, Johnny, to kind of nip it off this short stuff?
Well, a lot of people try to, hit down on these, and you're just better off just staying away from the soil and just brushing the grass. It's so much easier. Just make a couple little practice swings, brush, and brush it again, and you'll have a nice putt to get it up and in.
Well, 16 gets most of the spectating, but the 12th is also a great view and a great place to check out golf, and in this case, the final group. And Rickie Fowler's ready to roll, Raj.
Yeah, and this from hole high here, Johnny. There's not a lot of real definitive breaks on this green in particular. A lot of subtle stuff. May try to go just a shade left early on. Might straighten up in the area of the cup.
Yeah, I have it. Not much break. The pole is to the right. You can see how straight that was. I don't know if he pulled it or played it to go right, but it was straight as an arrow.
Yeah, I think he was looking for it to go some to the right.
So Rickie pacing around to tap in. In the meantime, we head over to 14. Charles Howell drove it into trouble over there at this par 5. So that is for bogey. Now so Howell drops one to 8 under. So he's now a full 4 back and hovering back over at the 12th. Matsuyama is next to try and tie Fowler. David.
Yeah, and he's got a nice chance here. A little right to left, a little bit up the hill. A lovely shot in here with a 7-iron. This is difficult. I mean, anything left of the hole was accidental. There's no question about that. But hit it the right shape.
We talked about it yesterday, Dave. He came into this tournament, said he really wasn't hitting it well. He's had his lower back acting up sometimes. Was not 100%. Said his short game saved him the first couple of rounds, and here he is right at the top.
Well, Japan is just craving a superstar. Jumbo Ozaki was a terrific player, Aoki, but not like dominating.
Well, this is the guy for Japan now, 19th in the world and looking to move up.
Straight as can be, that putt. A very tough putt to read.
Let's go to 13.
Harris English now has this birdie putt to tie. Nota.
Yes, he found trouble off the tee, laid up, and we saw that nice wedge shot. Has a great chance to capitalize.
Yeah, he walks that one right in. So Harris English quietly to a tie at the top with Rickie Fowler. Maybe he's ahead of enough of all the action back there that he can sneak in and post a good score.
Back at 12, test for par for Lee. David.
Yeah, nothing much moving apparently on this green. I mean, I thought that Hideki's would have moved a touch left, and this would move a little bit to the right, if anything.
It does move a little right, and I don't think he saw it. So you read it correctly, David. Just the other putt could have fooled you, that probably cost him making that putt because of how straight Hideki's putt was.
So that is going to be costly bogey number 4 for Lee. He's going to drop the 10 under, 2 back. And we go over to the 9th as Bubba Watson is finishing up his week over there and having a good final round Sunday. He just joined us. Bubba took some heat this week after some criticism of the golf course. They said he did not like the renovations, but doesn't end well there for Bubba. And we've got Phil in the desert over at 13.
Boy, he will do well just to get this one back to the fairway. Clean contact. That is a vintage Phil there.
It's a good thing he was left-handed, I can tell you that. Righty would have big trouble on that one.
And Mickelson making some unforced errors on these par fives. Normally he just eats these par fives up, but he's been struggling on these a bit this week. Rickie Fowler at 12 and Harris English just tied him with that birdie at 13.
This is a par putt at the 9th for Emiliano Grillo. Just watched as Bubba Watson missed his. So let's see if he starts it out a little higher. No, it's very quick, really, more than anything else. So Grillo still has some work as well. At the 17th, John Curran starts this out on the left side. Pin cut to that side of the green. And a little fade, but that's going to straighten out and find the green. It comes in nicely. And Curran will have about a 40-foot putt to see if he can pick up his eagle at 17. Now for birdie at 9, KJ Choi. And Choi getting it to curl in off the left edge. And he will have that to finish his day. Right there at the 9th. Good looking putt for Choi. Takes him to 6 under. Now Johnson at 17, 7 under par. Choi in with a 67. And this is all the way up the right side. That's a heavy-duty drive all the way to the back corner. And Zach with a little bit of power off the tee. Wee Kim now, level par. 2nd at 9. The approach coming into this pin, turned it over nicely. And it will settle at the top portion of the green. So Kim watches as that just wanders towards the back. And that gives you an idea of the pitch of these greens and just how slick they are.
We're back on the 13th fairway. Boo Weekley giving it a go just a moment ago.
Beautiful action.
Well, this guy is one of the best ball strikers of all time. He's always on plane, and take a look at that.
Sort of an old-fashioned, beautiful swing, you know. It
Yeah.
just, you know, it's not the typical swing you see now by the Danny Lees and Matsuyama.
He'll have that for eagle to get to 11 under and just one back. Now back on the tee. Fowler with his tee shot. Oh, it looks good. Trying to pinch it down that right side. That fairway is, it's not too bad. It's about 30 yards wide, which is about average, but that water is on the right and very visible. Now just up ahead, Mickelson with his third.
97 yards for Phil. Pretty amazing he even has a third shot to get onto this green.
And the way he spins it, watch this. Yeah, good shot there. That is on a downslope, that whole location, so got to be careful coming in.
Over at 13.
Mickelson now to get one closer. Boo has already missed his eagle putt. He has that 4-footer for birdie left.
He's got to run the table from here on in.
He's got to make them all, and that's a good start. How funny would it be if Mickelson were to reach down and yank his pants off like Phelps did? You know, tear away pants. Would that be awesome in golf?
I don't know about that one.
English here at the 14th. Noda.
Oh, that was a big drive. He's got a pitching wedge, and he's hung this out.
Got a false edge there. Rolled off.
Back to 13.
Boo Weekley now. Made a good run at that eagle putt. Had a big swinger from left to right. Went right over the edge.
I'm not so sure about using that towel right over the top of the ball and drying your hands, because if it happened to slip, that would be a penalty. Move the ball. Don't want to be doing that.
I'm not so sure, Johnny, that Boo thinks about that kind of stuff very often.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Boo to 10 under. crowded. Boy, these holes get really fun coming in now.
Yeah, they're the kind of holes you can make birdies and eagles, but if you don't play them correctly, you can, you know, make bogeys and doubles. So those are my favorite kind of holes.
Back out in the fairway, Danny Lee playing his second.
3-iron from 260.
See how hard he swung there, David?
Yeah, he pulled it a touch.
The body.
He did. One of his shoes flew off.
And I think that's in that new coffin bunker there. Wow. Hopefully that is sitting cleanly now. Fowler.
Yeah, 252 left. Wouldn't you have to swing hard at a 3-iron to try to hit it 260 yards? Heavens mercy.
Is this that little 5-wood he just stuck in his bag?
5-wood, John. Yeah, this is the 5-wood. This is plenty.
Yeah, I think Danny was caught in between clubs there.
Trying to hit a high cut, I think.
Yeah, he's got the high part, but it's left. It's not cutting.
Yeah, this green is it's pretty firm, and that whole location on the right is really tough to get it close, and that is getting further away from that flag.
A little bit of a double cross, so when you try to cut it and maybe hit it straight or draw, it goes almost a full club longer than you want.
And you see that pitch. He's got to come up over a couple of rises there and then down to that whole location. Now Matsuyama.
And he has one of those little, what I like to call a futility club. He just hoisted up in the air, 246. Just cutting a fraction too much, but it might get that kick to the left.
Oh, it just landed soft. That's a good leave, though, just on that false front there, short of the green.
All right, so things percolating nicely here. Fowler and English on top, tied at 12 under. Matsuyama just one back. We take a quick break from the action, check in with our update studio.
From the top of the green, this at the 9th. Look at a very quick putt coming down the hill for Scott Pinkney. Pinkney having to cover nearly the width of this green, but it just wanders along, falling left. So Pinkney, with a couple of birdies coming in, 1 under on the round, needs that to remain there. Now, this is Zach Johnson after his drive was all the way to the back right corner. So he'll put back to the front left. This is quick. Does it get... Well, it rolls past about 5 feet. So Johnson still left with that for birdie. Not a bad effort at all, given the length of that putt. Wee Kim. He'll start this a little further right than what we saw from Pinkney. Now that's really the challenge, is you fall on either side of that hole location, which these players ultimately find out with a misread. It's just cut on a slightly higher ledge. John Curran for eagle. After his tee shot reached the green, this one does not reach the cup. So a tap-in birdie. And Curran will take it 1 closer to the lead with a birdie there to get to 8 under overall. 3 under today.
Harris English trying to break out of the pack on top. Noda.
Straight up the hill. Speed a little bit on the slow side here, a little right to left.
Unlikely birdie if he could have gotten it. It's a tough hole uphill all the way. Real raised green.
Coming down the stretch here over at 16.
J.B. Holmes trying to get to 8 under par. See if the people go crazy. Yeah, they do. Gets J.B. Holmes to 8 under.
But you love to hate. You've got to hate that stance.
Oh, wow. Right out of this coffin bunker.
Yeah, this is like trying to hit it standing up in a hammock.
Okay, David, where's the coffin bunker in Great Britain? What course?
Oh, the coffins.
Thank you.
You got me. Is it Muirfield?
I'm asking you. I'm not telling you.
Johnny putting him on the spot this first weekend here at NBC.
Johnny, I'm not an
Fowler
expert in
next.
golf. I just play one on television.
Here's Fowler.
Oh, this is really good. This might go in.
Wow.
Oh, my. That was classy. Aren't the coffins at St. Andrews in Scotland? There's one at the postage stamp at Royal Troon where we'll be this year for the Open. Now, what a tough shot this is.
It's the giraffe at the waterhole stands. I'll tell you what, he didn't do too badly. If it stays up there.
Yeah, Will. Good shot. At that point, you're not thinking about getting it close. You're just thinking about getting it on.
And not hurting yourself.
So Fowler had that long pitch. Let's take a look from up above. You can see he's got to put it right on that little nose there and spin it, which he did. And this guy has a great pair of hands. We already saw him pitch it in earlier in the round. Johnny, here's the little brush you were talking about. He did catch a little too much turf there, but still, that was well struck.
A lot of shaft angle lean.
Matsuyama now with this pitch.
Just sort of bunt this in low and right of the flagstick. Should take a little break to the left going up the slope, then flatten out. Tough one to judge the distance.
Well, it hit Fowler's coin, slowed it down a little bit, but almost sounded like he caught that a little bit thin. Now back at 16, this is Shane Lowry.
Hearing the USA chants.
He was a big part of this story for a couple of days.
Oh, how about that?
He started walking away and he thought, uh-oh, it's going to lip out.
I think he knew it was going in.
I did too.
And he was just showing off a little bit in front of the fans at 16. They appreciate that kind of confidence and showmanship, Jake.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's just some players that love it and some people that dread it. Let's go to 14.
Mulder from the rough.
Not a very good drive here. Hole location on the front left. This is going right.
Not a good shot at all. But if you're going to miss it, that's not too bad of a spot.
This is one of the holes that has gotten dramatically more difficult, Johnny, in the renovation.
Yeah, yesterday it played 502, I think, uphill. So today he's not playing quite so long. 469 with the tee up, I assume, and the hole up.
We'll keep it in the second to last group with Boo Weekly, who's gotten it to 10 under, Mark.
As usual, he has been a driving machine. It is very difficult to get it close here in 2 shots today, though. Falls front on this green on the left side.
The flag is right there.
He's a great ball striker.
As good as I can hit it, bud.
There you heard it. As good as he has.
And that's about as good as he can do.
And he's got a shot to get it to 11 under and get within 1 to 13.
All right, David, Danny lean out for birdie.
Peter, this is one of the hardest putts to get online. I always felt his feet are below the ball, but the putt feels like it's going to break the other way, going to go to the right, so easy to miss this one.
No wonder you started announcing.
You got this TV thing down, David.
Let's go to 14.
And Mickelson from the rough.
Not a very good lie downhill, very thick.
Tough shot.
Got some good height on it, and he's taking an aggressive line. That is really pretty good from there.
This was a day where Mickelson, Johnny, needed that 65 that he shot yesterday You know, that would have been in the ballpark with really those guys in the final group not running away with it. But
Well,
not to be.
When you're in your mid-40s, 45, on Sunday with a chance to win, it doesn't always go your way. It's just harder to win as you get older.
17.
All right, Shane Lowry actually taking 3-wood here at the par 4. Trying to hit a low, chasing, running draw. How about this? Well, he can get the fans riled up again if he were to make that. Eagle putt would get him to 10 under par. So we're back to 13.
Matsuyama now for birdie to tie.
Should move a little left.
Well, that breaks a long string of pars. He birdied the first, and then has had pars on his card ever since. So he's playing very consistently. Now tied at the top, but Rickie has this.
Peter,
Take
you
the
ever
lead
wonder, you ever wonder who gets to name these hazards? You know, like the principal's nose and the coffin. I always wanted to name one, you know. The devil's nostril.
You think they did that online back then, or was there?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably sheep involved.
Well, this is for the lead guys.
So Fowler answers Matsuyama's birdie. He takes the lead back at 13 under par. Take a look at that card, 3 birdies. That's pretty good. Matsuyama's got 2 birdies and all pars on a perfect day as we're coming down the stretch.
Brian Gay caught himself in a tough spot out of the fairway bunker, well over the green with his second, his third to here, and now he needs this for par. This is over 50 feet, and not a bad effort at all. Really solid in terms of judging his distance, and nearly had the line. Nonetheless, though, he'll suffer a bogey here coming in. John Curran now coming off birdie at 17. He's at 8 under. Curran just shy of that bunker. Leaves him 156, and he'll come up short. That looked like it had a little more launch on it. May have caught it on the lower part of the club face. Birdie try for Brendan DeYoung, and short on speed. So DeYoung will have that for par. Now Colton Nost, 5 under par. And Nost with his second. See if he can get to the green. And rejected by that raised green. Just sends it down to that little collection area. Last week's winner, Brandt Snedeker, needs this for par. At the 9th, he's going to surrender a shot. So Snedeker slipping back to 4 under par. So a 3 under round, a 4 under total for Snedeker as he finishes up the week. Zach Johnson with his 3rd. And Johnson, after birdie at 17, trying to scramble here at 18. Found the water, and that is going to miss the green.
We've got Rickie Fowler breaking one clear for now. He's on the tee at 14, Raj.
Tee move forward, so it makes the fairway a bit wider. Pretty narrow. They were only shooting into about 20 yards with the fairway yesterday, but should be a little wider from this further up tee. And this is a beauty up the right center.
Sure looking at it like he's worried about something, but not much rough out there. Most of the rough on the 14th is only like 1.5 inches long, so it's almost like a long fairway rough, you know, type of thing. No problem.
Up ahead, got a pitch here by Mulder, his 3rd, so he's trying to save it. then some. He nearly dropped it in for birdie.
Wow. What a shot.
He's going to stay at 9 under. Nearly moved it to double digits. Now back on the tee is Matsuyama.
You're just watching his practice swing. He doesn't have that pause at the top in his practice swing, yet it shows up when the ball's in the way.
I'm not sure why he's got the ball on the right side of the tee. It's like he wants to play a cut, but it's not really a cut hole. A dogleg left uphill. That's a little draw there, but
yeah, that's a beautiful shot.
He's a long hitter, strong, just really strong, sort of built like a KJ Choi, you know.
Solid base. Up ahead, Mickelson. Is he going to finally get a long one to go?
He's going to be worrying about 2-putting from here. That thing runs away to the left, and he's a dead straight uphill putt, but no guarantee he's going to make that.
17.
This was just earlier, Dan. Ryan Moore, well, right of the green here at the drivable par 4. Plays a beautiful little pitch and run. Right into the hole. Eagle 2. That's the 3rd eagle we've seen here today. Great job by the field staff, Johnny, putting the pin on that front left, accessible. We're seeing a lot of good things happening. Stroke average here at 17, just over 3.5.
It's close to that lake, but it's doable.
It is. This for 2 for Lowry. Just runs out of speed.
So no double eagle.
No.
That would have been a nice 2-2 for
yes,
him.
It would have been. Taps in, gets to 9 under.
Birdie number 16 for the 2.
And some good crowds again today, Dan. I know they don't rival yesterday, but there are a lot of golf tournaments that would love to have this many people.
Oh, absolutely. It does take a little spike down on Super Sunday, but still, they are all over the course. Boo Weekly, after hitting what he said was his best effort up here to this green.
Not there, Boo. That was
boo.
That was a boo.
All he can do is chuckle to himself. And now Mickelson for his par.
Straight uphill. Boy, that just seals the deal right there for him.
Mickelson, who has a very beefed up schedule coming up. He's playing a lot of golf leading into the first major of the year. And over to 15.
All right, let's look at the hole location. There's a ridge that comes into the green here. Anything that comes up short wants to work its way back down. So if a guy's going to hit a second shot in here close, he's got to get it up on to this upper level up in here and have a chance for a 3. And Harris English, after this drive, Noda, should have a chance.
And boy, should he. Only 218 left, but he has hung this out to the right.
Oh.
Not a good shot at all.
Let's take a look at exactly what happens here at the very end. Hit the hazard stake and kicks into the bunker. What a break. What a break.
That was right up there with Rickie Fowler yesterday.
Yes, it was. My goodness. Terrible shot. Hit it heavy. Pushed it.
You ever remember hitting a stake like that to keep it out of the water? Not too often.
Yeah. All right, we're going to use our NBC at technology. We're going to zoom in here and get a very closer look right here. Ball, it's right off the hazard stake. Unbelievable. And especially at the angle that it's sitting, Johnny. I mean, it can't be but about an inch or 2. And look at the smiles on his face and his caddy, Brian Smith. They know they have gotten a huge break.
You're right, Gary. You not only have to hit it, you got to hit it at kind of the right angle.
Oh,
you
yeah.
to get that to happen.
Yeah, could have kicked and gone the other way. It would have gone in the water, I think.
Oh, I don't think there's any question it was going in the water.
Well, Harris got a break there, and as we look at our real-time analysis presented by the Microsoft Cloud, he has a chance to get it up and down after that latest break. And look at the numbers and how much better they have gotten on the greens this season, you see on the left there versus this week. Harris English has stepped it up. Strokes gained putting from 4 to 8 feet, 90% of those. Birdie or better conversion, looking good as well. So Harris English with our real-time analysis presented by the Microsoft Cloud. Now trying to take advantage of the great break at 15.
It's just one back.
Again, it's been 3 seasons since English won the only times in his career. Twice won FedEx St. Jude and then won the OHL Classic at Mayakoba. So it's been a while since he's won, but he's right in the thick of it with Matsuyama and company. Again, there's a look at the hole location for Hideki at 14.
Now 157 yards up the hill, little downwind. To feel he's in between 8 and 9 iron here. And he has pulled the 9.
It's really uphill. Wonder if that's enough club. It's amazing how far these guys are hitting their irons, David. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
I remember what 9-iron used to be. The longer hitters hit it like 135. You know,
yeah.
A lot of the tour hit it 125 to 30.
Yeah, I mean, the clubs are a little stronger than they used to be, but I mean, it's about the ball.
And the lofts are, like you say, are stronger. Right at those 2 towers is right where the flag is.
Of course, they hit it harder too. Lovely strike.
He's talking a lot to it.
Oh, right over the stick. It gets it to check. That is a beauty.
Advantage when you hit less club and hit it hard, it spins more, which is, you know, a good time to have spins right there.
Okay, Roger, what about the leader?
Got 153 left to the hole, and the hole's on 8 paces and protected by that bunker in front of it. You don't want to really miss short or left here, Johnny. So I know Rickie likes to be aggressive, but maybe a little right of the hole and a little past the hole here would be the safer play.
It's a hole you want to make a par if you have anything between your ears.
This is a 9-iron. Well, it's an aggressive looking shot here.
It's right on it. It checks up as well. So that is a pretty good grouping by Lee, Matsuyama, and Fowler at 14. A 469-yard par 4 where the leaders in the final group are right now.
All right, see if Harris English can take advantage of this great break, hitting the hazard stake. Long bunker shot. Got to get the ball up onto this upper shelf. And Johnny, that should catch a little slope here. That should ease its way back toward the hole.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, so he's going to give himself a chance for a birdie.
These beautiful white bunkers don't spin a lot when you hit it out of them. It's kind of sand it is, but they sure look good against that dark green grass.
So 5 holes left for the final group, and Danny Lee still not out of it, even though he's had all sorts of adventures today, David.
No, I mean, he's definitely, especially with you know, 15 and 17. Who knows what'll happen at 16? I'd love to be just a little farther to the right or a little closer here. He's got a double breaker. It's going to go right off the putter face and then back a little left at the end, like a sheet of glass down there.
Lee with 4 bogeys and 1 birdie, beginning the day with a 3-shot lead over Matsuyama, and Fowler still trying to hang on.
A little left at the hole. Did not see that break being that big. Just read it by 2 feet.
Can't afford another bogey at this point.
Well, it's a pretty good leave.
He's just 25 years old. Matsuyama just 23 years old. Back to the final group in just a moment, but back over to Harris English.
And his bid for a birdie here at the par 5.
Hey, Gary, I thought he did a great job of giving himself a good look. That was a tough bunker shot. Very easy to leave that short on that lower level.
We showed some statistics there, Dan, of his improved putting this week. We'll from inside of 10 feet. He's made 57 of 59 attempts. His putt here about 8 feet and a little, just a few inches.
And I know the folks at home who love to play are hearing numbers like that, seeing that number and saying, how in the world do you be that consistent?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the condition of the greens. A lot of it has to do with the ability to read the putts, and also has to do with the ability to stroke the putts. All right, lower right, we've got Matsuyama with a birdie putt at 14 to tie. Harris English unable to take advantage of the good break at 15.
Matsuyama looking for back-to-back birdies.
Throwing it out to the right. It should break a lot from there.
Didn't quite hit it.
Yeah, you don't want to leave it short. You saw the line.
He had a nice line, just didn't hit it.
Yeah, it was going in if he hit it hard enough.
So he stays at 12 under. 2 birdies, all the rest pars for Matsuyama. Very consistent, but will it be enough red on the card to end up hoisting the Thunderbird crystal later on? Fowler's next, Raj.
Yeah, a little different line than the other 2 players, but the putt has to be very similar. Rickie's got to have a really good idea of just how much this will break to the left.
He's awful good from this distance.
Did he hit it?
Did he hit it?
No. Well, pars for Matsuyama and Fowler. They remain separated by a single shot. Harris English with 3 holes left, lurking and heading over to the zoo at 16.
At 17, Charles Howell III, 6 under, needing this for par. Howell trying to stay right now with a 6 under total. And it just misses on the left side. He had a top 25 position, but that will cost him. And so a lost shot here takes him to 1 over on the round, back to 5 under overall. Still, as this leaderboard changes, we'll see how he finishes up. 18, Shane Lowry. Right next to the walking path. 156 coming in, takes it to the top half of the green. Was sitting on that Bermuda, a little bit of a flyer lie. Now Woodland. Trouble off the tee, this for bogey. And he'll at least hold on for a bogey 5. And that moves him to now 2 over on the round, 4 under overall. Ryan Moore, 7 under. Moore with his approach into 18 green. 7 under par, and that's going to give him a chance to pick up a birdie at the last. 17, Blaine Barber, a look at birdie. And Barber misses on the right side, never broke towards the cup. Straight putt all the way.
Back at 16, John Hupp on the tee, coming off of birdies at 13 and 15. This was while we were away. John taking dead aim at this. Gets a nice hop forward. And that is one of the best we've seen today. Brendan DeYoung hit it to 11 inches earlier in the day. Now we come live. Harris English getting ready.
Won twice on tour. 26 years old. He should be right in his prime, Peter.
Yeah, he is. He's just growing and learning. Boy, he just hammered that. That's got to sit.
Got a little jacked up from the people.
Boy, and it's hard to control your emotions in here. You try to stay calm, but it lifts you.
All right, this was while we were in commercial. Danny Lee's par putt. Whoa, right back at him.
Let's take a look at this in slow motion. I mean, that ball is down at the equator.
I've never seen one go that far down and then come out. That is Hard to believe, and Lee is drifting further and further from the chase. 4 back now of this guy at 15.
Yeah, Fowler on the tee here at the par 5. Good drive. Sets up a chance to go for the green in 2, and I think that qualifies. Johnny, that is long.
And that's a dangerous tee shot with that water right there.
Whoa, and he just misses a divot. Yeah, no, that's a very dangerous tee shot with the water down the left.
Better not lay up this time.
I don't think he will be. Rickie Fowler, 1-shot lead. Stay with us.
Kevin Na is at 17 and ready to take on the shorter par 4. Not the best of final rounds for Na. 3 bogeys on the front side, another on the back half. He's 2 over today. And he will have this run out about at the 280-yard mark. And from there, he'll try and pitch it on. Plenty of green to work with for Na, up to 18, and Lowry. Lowry trying to control the speed on this. You can see where it hits that fall line. Seemed to tug on that putt a little too much. About 3 feet wide left of his target. Matt Every, 6 under, set to go. 17. And Every taking a left line. This could be trouble. It'll get very close to the hazard line. See the red paint that lines that hazard? He is very close to it. Should be able to ground his club, it looks like. Now past winner here, J.B. Holmes. And that's a disappointment. Remembering his title here, he just hammered his tee shot over 330 yards and then just had a wedge in, made the birdie putt to beat Phil Mickelson. Webb Simpson at 17, 5 under par. And Simpson is up the right center of this hole. And that's close to where Kevin Na will operate from, a little further up the fairway.
Great action at 16, where we zoom down to now.
And Harris English is over the screen. There's a lot of ways to play this shot, John, but none of them are easy.
And that little bit of higher grass behind his ball, to be a little careful of. Looked like a good strike, but that grass grabbed it, didn't it?
Yeah, it's so much uphill there. The ball was lucky it stopped there. So too bad for Harris. He had a good shot. Take a look. See, there's that brush you talk about, John. Just sweep it off the grass.
He did catch that higher grass on the downswing. It might have slowed everything down. But he's had his chances.
And out here at 15, Boo Weekley was forced to lay up at the par 5. Played a pretty good wedge shot in here, Mark.
Yeah, he's left himself a putt that, you know, these are the ones he really hasn't been making, Gary. It's amazing. You take a look at his stats in the last 4 years. He's been, you know, right near the top in strokes saved tee to green every year, and he has never been in the top 150 of strokes gained putting. This clearly is his weakness.
Should go a little right.
That's
there we
a good
go.
one.
Yeah. So Boo Weekley to 11 under par. Just 2 back. Up at 16.
Let's see if Harris English can save his par. This would be a huge boost to his confidence and his morale. That's deflating right there. Didn't hit a bad shot, was playing right of the flag, but it just carried too far. Back to 15.
Mickelson with a chance for a birdie. Okay, hits it in. Crowd loves it, but too little, too late for Mickelson. Just even par in this final round. This Still very enthusiastic about the work that he's doing with his new instructor, Andrew Getson, and pretty amazing for 45 years of age to have that kind of enthusiasm still.
He's a golfing genius. That's all there is to it.
All right, Danny Lee, second shot here.
3-iron, 262. Now we saw one of these whack back at the other par 5, the 13th. That's a good looking shot.
You can land it short of that ridge and jump it up, but it carries so far that it's all the way through the green, David.
How can you hit about 280 yards?
How can you hit a 300 that far, Gary?
Well, that's, I think, what he's wondering right now.
I know it's about 1,200 feet above sea level. That makes the ball go maybe 5% farther, but.
Well, look at these driving distances here at 15 today. Look at Rickie Fowler out driving Hideki Matsuyama by 35 yards. All right,
well,
Matsuyama next.
Yeah, he has 260 yards, and well, he must have known what Danny has got 4-iron. It just seems like an awfully long way. It is a little downwind.
Perfect shot would be to carry the ball into the front third of the green and have it release up that ridge that we illustrated a little bit earlier.
It's visually intimidating. I know that.
Water in front, water right, water left.
If you're not hitting it real well, that looks pretty small up there, David.
There's some sort of entomological problem going on here, some kind of insect behavior he doesn't like. It's a nice lie. This seems to be taking a while just to get settled over this, Johnny.
Yeah, it's a dangerous shot. That'd be the difference between him getting in a playoff or winning right here. This could be the shot that does it or doesn't do it.
Little left.
Well, it stays short of the bunker, so he'll have a little bit of room there. That can be done. So we go to 16.
Boo Weekley on the tee. In the group ahead, John Hugg did make his birdie.
And the arena made for a guy named Boo.
That's fat and left. But you can't lose if you're Boo Weekley in here when they say boo.
Had that ball a little forward in his stance. I could see that being pulled before he hit it.
Yeah, that's unexpected. You don't see that from Boo much. Now, good luck with that. We're going to put our sound meter in with Mickelson.
I know it's hilarious when the Thunderbird gets on the PA and says, "Quiet, please."
Yeah. How about the Marshals holding up the quiet please signs?
This is going to be in the 90s decibel wise.
Especially
a good one.
Stiffs it. Yep.
Mm.
88 with not a good shot.
All right, back here at 15 after a monster drive. Rickie Fowler, Raj, with a chance. If he can put this on the green, make a birdie, he's going to make it very difficult for someone to catch him.
Yeah, it's just 222 left to the hole, and every now and then he just bombs a drive. I'm not so sure it's an extra gear that he just has at his disposal, but every now and then he just hits it a long way. 5-iron here. He's shaping it a little left to right at the center of the green. Boy, what a pretty shot.
Yeah, it's going to chase up onto that upper level. And it's going to be just past hole high. Rickie Fowler will have a makeable putt for an eagle 3 there at 15. He's already got the 1-shot lead. Rickie Fowler looking to win again. It's becoming a regular thing. Can he get it done here at the Waste Management Phoenix Open? Stay with us.
John Ha has arrived at 17. 9 under par. Driver for Ha. Front side, a pair of birdies. 1 bogey. Coming off a birdie at 15 and 16. So feeling good about the prospects of a strong finish. Riding up the right side is not a problem today with the pin cut to the front portion. So he can try and continue to build on that 2 under total today. Blaine Barber, 3 under, and all sorts of problems here at the last. That was his bid for par, and he needs it to stay on the green because that is left for bogey. So back to the tee at 17, James Hahn. He might leave Scottsdale thinking of what might have been, especially with the lead coming into the weekend. He has now made a home here, so he's taken to the golf course. Likes the fandom that surrounds the stadium course, and you get the feeling he'll be back contending again soon. Gary Woodland, a chance to get back to 5 under. And Woodland, a near miss. So just a par to finish. 4 under total. And 11 under is Harris English. English near the top of the leaderboard. And this also into that little collection area.
We mentioned yesterday how almost all of Rickie's family is here with him this week, including his grandparents, his grandfather, Yutaka Tanaka, there pictured with his grandmother. Rickie calls him Papa. They have always had a special relationship. Papa cheering on Rickie yesterday at that 16th hole with other family members. In fact, Rickie has honored him with his latest tattoo on his arm, which spells out his name in Japanese.
My grandpa was probably, someone I spent a lot of time with growing up. When I was in preschool and kindergarten and kind of early years growing up, he would pick me up from school every Wednesday and we'd either go golfing or fishing. He's the one that introduced me to the game of golf. He didn't have to do much from there. I just loved it, and that's all I wanted to do. So no, I'm very close with both my grandpa, my grandma. So it's obviously, like I said, it's special to have them around, and it'd be awesome to have them see me win.
And they are all here this week, and I mean the family is huge for Fowler. Mom and dad, grandparents, uncle, sister, her fiance, friends from high school. They're all here to see if Rickie can pull it off. There's Mickelson over at 16.
See if he can pull off some magic here, Dan, from a bad lie. All in all, not too bad. Let's go up to 17.
All right, Harris English elected to go with 3 wood here at the drivable par 4. Trying to play a little draw. Can he get the big bounce forward that he needs? No, it lands softly, but still in a good position. Back at 15, Matsuyama. Very important 3rd shot.
A nice clean lie on the upslope, so he can spin this a little bit. He's got some room, as you said, Gary. Yeah, he just flew that a little farther than he wanted to.
Yeah, came out a little lower, I think, maybe than he wanted to as well.
That's not the easiest putt in the world either.
No, it isn't, as we go ahead to 16.
Bo Weekley now. Boy, this is a difficult shot. Got to get it up quickly. Oh, he just stubbed it just a bit. Another foot of carry would have been good. back to 15.
Danny Lee, you can see in this low area over the green, about 5 or 6 feet below the level of the surface. And boy, that's a good shot.
Had a lot of spin.
Yeah, he sure did for such a short shot, Johnny. That was very well done. As we watch Rickie Fowler putt for eagle here at 15.
Yeah, uphill, going to go left. Most of that slope is in the first half of the putt.
Well, it's a very easy birdie. And Rickie Fowler is going to lead the field in par 5 play this week. Played 12 par 5s, Johnny, in 12 under par.
That'll do it. That might be why he's going to win.
Yeah, exactly right. If he goes on to win, that'll be the main reason why. As we go back to 16.
Boo Weekley for what would be a great save. So he made a nice putt about that length back on 15 for birdie and gives it back here with a bogey 4. Can't afford that coming down these last 3 or 4 holes. Weekley now back to 10 under and 4 back of Rickie Fowler. But you got to be impressed with Rickie and that drive at 15 and that second shot, setting up a nice 2-putt birdie. He leads by 2.
Second at 17 for James Hahn, 4 under par. And most of the players just get it on the green and running towards the flag. Over that ridge is the most important part of the equation. And it comes to rest inside of 4 feet. So a chance to get to 5 under par there. That'll work out. Side hill, Kevin Na up above the walking path at 18. So Na trying to play a hook lie onto this green. And it's going to run along the very front left portion. Looks like it'll hold. So a good shot to get back in position for birdie. At 17. Chance to get to double digits. Oh, he misses low. He had birdies at 15 and 16, was trying to make it 3 in a row. Well, he'll be thinking about that one. 10 under could have propelled him that much further up the leaderboard, in a position to join the top 5 if he could have made it. Now Matt Every, after trouble off the tee at 18, his 3rd. So he hits it long, but took on the left side of 18, and it ended up costing him. So that just washes down that little runoff area. So Every's still trying to scramble for what looks like a bogey play at 18. 14 under leads.
And out to the 15th, Gary.
All right, Matsuyama, much needed putt now. Just to stay 1 back. Right to left break. No, up and out of it early. Do it.
Too firm.
Yeah. Up at 16.
Mickelson now trying to save his par. It's not going to be a win for Phil, but the crowd would love that. The hometown boy, Arizona State alum. Good up and down from that plug lie in the bunker.
20 years since he won the first of 3 as Rickie emerges.
Dan, I was talking about Rickie yesterday on Wednesday when we were shooting the music video. He finished his Pro-Am round and then came out and hung out on the 16th tee, just having fun. That's his grandfather
right there. You just looked over at him there, and there's his grandmother, and what a family celebration this could turn out to be in the desert. All of them on the West Coast. And talking to Rickie last night, he said it was easy for them to get over here, and his father has never seen him win. His mother has, his sister has. We remember them at the Players Championship last year, but neither of the grandparents have seen him win. And Rickie said, you know, you never know how many of these tournaments they're going to be able to attend as the years go on. So this is a special chance for Rickie to win in front of them all. Why wouldn't his grandfather be wearing the orange shirt just like Rickie? There he is. He's got the tattoo on the left bicep, and Rickie giving him a little nod. There he is. Go get him, Rickie.
And Rickie has got to know that these greens are firming up, so I would imagine he and his caddy Joe are just talking middle of this green, let it pitch forward.
And my belief is the future of the game, especially for good players, is the grandparents have the time to get the kids to the course and to the junior tournaments. So our parents have to work because of the way the financial situation is in the U.S. So you grandparents out there, get those grandkids out there. And
Hold the camera. Come on, Rickie, let's go,
In fact, Rickie's given middle name comes from his grandfather, Rick Utaka Fowler. And they've got him going in the game.
doesn't have to get too cute here, Peter. Just get it just right of the flag. Make it 3.
Look at him. He looks back up there at him.
Well, that shows you the growth in Rickie Fowler. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Didn't take the flag on, put it on the middle of the green, and let it kick forward.
He's built for moments like this, isn't he, Jake?
Yes, he is. Danny Lee now. It's got to sit. Over to 17.
Yeah, this was just earlier, Peter. Harris English played a little pitch here from right in front of the green. Had to chase it up a little slope and then let it release. And you can hear him say, come on. So left it a little farther short than he would have liked. But now from just under 6 feet, chance for birdie. And he ties for second at 12 under with Matsuyama, but he's going to need to birdie 18 to have any chance. Well, Harris English as we go back to Matsuyama at 16.
Yeah, and I think that shot by Fowler, Gary, he has served notice to Matsuyama, who has to take this flag on. Look at that ball up there, just a few feet from the hole. Actually turned out pretty darn good. He's got a makeable birdie putt. So Fowler and his family loving the action. What's going on here at 16? Rickie Fowler is looking at a birdie putt here at 16 to get to 15 under par. He holds a 2-shot lead over Hideki Matsuyama and Harris English.
Life in the jungle looking pretty good right now as Fowler, with that flair for the moment, with virtually his entire family tree behind him, comes up when the pressure is at its highest. Thanks, Papa. We're going to try to bring this one home.
Phil Mickelson now at 17 takes the right side of the tee. And we'll try and just fade this right to left on to the green, but he comes up just kind of stuck on the right side. It's not an unpopular spot at all. You can try and work from there. A lot of players have all that green to work with to try and create a type of shot that'll set up a look at birdie. Kevin Na for birdie now at 18. Na almost. Just a foot shy of the cup, so he will wrap up his week with a par here at 18. And Na just had a tough start to his day. He was 3 over at the turn, and it never really felt right for him on the final day. Bryce Mulder at one point had a share of the lead. He's at 8 under now. And with Mickelson up the right side, a popular spot, Mulder will be a little deeper into that collection area. We'll see if that changes the shot shape for him versus lefty. Now Every. And Matt Every makes that putt at the 18th. Two-time winner at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He'll be back there to defend coming up in the month of March. Fowler at 14 under par, up by 2 shots, a chance to add 1 more at 16. Rickie Fowler with the lead, trying to bring home a victory in the desert. He was close here a number of years ago and now trying to turn up the wick.
Harris English, who trails by 2, now stands on the tee at the 18th par 4, 433 yards.
Fairway's about 33 yards wide. A little draw down the right side to ride that hill that's slanted right to left, and that does not kick left, but a good spot. Just barely in the first cut.
English coming off birdie at 17 to get within a couple. Back over to 16.
The final group here of the 2016 Waste Management Phoenix Open. Matsuyama, Danny Lee, and the leader, Rickie Fowler.
A lot of this gallery's been waiting for this final group a long time.
Jake, there were 1,000 people outside the gates of this tournament yesterday before the gates opened at 7 a.m. Just most of them trying to get a spot over there at 16 in those bleachers where you don't have to have quite as deep a pockets to get a spot.
This is one of the most unique tournaments in all of golf. It's just fun. This is an outdoor festival, and a golf tournament happens to be played inside it. Matsuyama, this is a must make here.
Well, there's a lot that can happen on the next hole also. 17th drivable par 4.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's over. Certainly can, a lot can happen at 17 or 18, but he's thinking knock this in.
Played it to break left, Peter, and didn't do it.
Yeah, he just, you mentioned yesterday, John, he's standing over the putter such a long time. It almost feels like he's not sure either of his stroke or the break.
Well, he doesn't even, he's not doing anything. In other words, he's not looking at the hole. He's not forward pressing. He's not moving his feet. He just, everything just stays dead still.
Yeah, he's a bit frozen over the ball.
There's the Rickie.
They're the Rickie chants.
And the Rickettes.
There's a few of those.
Well, Rickie knows right here he can, might not close the door with this putt, but it's getting close. And as you said, Dan, he is built for positions like this. This kid is never uncomfortable. I don't care whether it's the first tee or the last green, whether it's the Ryder Cup, the Open Championship.
He says his comfort level, Jake, he told me last night, comes from his BMX days. Motocross. He said he just watched those guys, his idols in that sport, and the way they kind of soaked it up. Showman types of athletes.
Not a hard putt, was right edge.
Well, that's not what he wanted, obviously. He wanted to be 3 ahead with 2 to play, but still, he's too clear. His family and friends are watching. A little disappointment with there, but That's okay. He heads to 17, 2 shots ahead, and that's where we go.
Where Boo Weekley has driven it on the green, putt for an eagle too. The head seemed to come up a little quickly there. Well, it's going to run out of gas. We'll go ahead to 18.
And English just off the fairway, but sitting up pretty nicely, Noda.
It sure is. Only got 110 yards left. That was a huge drive. Nice angle here, and he's got to feel like he needs to hold this.
At a front right hole location. Not much room to get it close up there.
Okay, so a birdie there would give English the lead in the clubhouse at 13 under, and I've seen crazier things happen.
Never know.
Back to 17.
All right, the guys will come to the tee here at the drivable par 4. And guys, since 2003, 2 players have hit 8 drives in the water here at 17. Rory Sabatini and Nick Watney. Rickie Fowler has hit 7 drives in the water to the left.
If you were caddying for him, Gary, what would you tell him here?
Well,
you got a 2-shot lead, 2 holes to go. You make a birdie real easily by laying it up.
You can, but as long you can go way to the right today, John. I mean, with the hole cut on the left side of the green, I mean, you've got tons of room out to the right. You could even put it in the gallery to the right and still be okay.
My only question with it, I mean, if it's not hit, it's not getting that bump. It's 265 to get that bump. I know you've got 275 on it, but it's got to be hit. You have to get 275. 304. I mean, like this. I mean, it's just for fun. It's just putter. You know what I mean? I mean, through that green is 334 through. Are you with me on that? And that's your go-to anyway.
Rickie relies a lot on his caddy, Joe Scavron.
The bunker's out of play. It's perfect.
They like the driver.
Right after the green.
Takes all the bunkers out of play. Says go to your go-to shot, which Raj has seemed to become a little left to right with the driver.
Correct. If this goes left, I'll be more than amazed. I would think, if anything, this will get squeezed out to the right. With that said, he's taking it up the left, carving it right at the center of the green, and it's a bullet.
It needs to slow down.
That's got to stop.
Yeah, this could go all the way through the green into the hazard. And there it goes. It has found the hazard over the green. Unbelievable.
Well, like I said, a layup wouldn't be bad.
No, you're right, John. Yeah, and I think he's just getting the word that he's in the water.
That thing really was like a scalded duck going down there.
Well, it was like the tee shot he hit on 15, but he didn't need it. All right, Danny Lee next.
Well, I'm not sure that anyone on the tee knows where Rickie Fowler's ball is. That's a good-looking shot from Danny Lee.
Yeah, 3-woods have a hard time getting there. They hit just far enough back that they kind of slow down in that little upslope just short of the green, but that's fine.
Gary, I can't believe that he hit it that far.
Well, it's 304 to the front. He carried it past the front of the green, and once it gets past the middle of the green, it runs away in the back portion.
What's wrong with being just in front of the green?
Yeah, with the 3-wood.
Well,
yeah, especially when you got a couple shot lead.
But did you hear Joe say to Rickie, it's 265 to carry that bunker. You have to hit the 3-wood perfectly. So I think they went with the driver to take that bunker out of play totally.
Boy, that's just hammered right at the center of the green.
Yeah, let's see if it gets a big enough bounce. Well, it lands and softly, but in good position, just a couple of yards short. We go up to 18.
So with Rickie in the hazard off the tee, this birdie attempt even bigger for English potentially.
Down the hill, it's looking pretty darn good.
Really good. Just didn't skirt left like he thought it would. So English is going to be in at 12 under and hope.
He knows he needed that one.
Final round 66 for Harris.
Well played though this week.
Yep. Lone bogey coming at 16. Surrounded by 6 birdies for English. Fowler in the water at 17.
$500 FedEx Cup points. Who will capture the title here? Rickie Fowler has the lead. He's up by 2 shots, but we know trouble ahead at 17 green. We'll see what type of lie he has, and if he can salvage par. He has rolled it well the entire week. Fowler, tee to green, on the mark, and then around the greens has also showed quite a bit of wizardry. Beautiful hole out there, and that sent the crowd into a frenzy. And even with this difficult lie, we have watched Fowler craft shots around the green that have been lefty-like, but this is a new game, and we're seeing Fowler shine. He can pick up the victory, already the reigning Players Champion, exempt status through next coming years to 2018, and Ryder Cup points, and that also would be very important to a young star emerging like Fowler. Invitations to all the events upcoming, including the Masters and the Players, and on through the calendar year. So some thoughts right now running through the head of Fowler. You can imagine he went through the green, so now you have to make a determination on where it's best to drop. And his caddy is obviously considering some of the options, and then we'll see what type of play they have. They have to go back to the front of the green, and a very quick play coming up for Fowler.
Well, it was inevitable. A new tournament record, 618,000 plus for the week, with today's attendance of 65,000 plus. They shatter the week mark. They shattered the single day mark yesterday. So there it is, over the 564,000 plus, which was the record last year. So unbelievable crowds, and Rickie Fowler trying to finish this one off in front of them all.
It's going to be a challenge here, Raj, to get this up and down and make a par. It's not going to be easy. The first part of it pitches right back against him, right, and then goes back downhill to the hole.
Yes, then it comes over a rise in the green, and it'll go downhill toward the hole, and it's got to be, well, over 90 feet, close to 100 feet, I would think, maybe more.
Percentage is not with him.
Well, this is since 2003. You hit it in the water, good chance you're going to make bogey.
No. Just talking about other options than this. You just catch it? Yeah. Go where you drop it. It may not come over the.
Alright, so takes the drop. Now he'll be playing his third.
Two-shot lead could be all gone after this hole.
You have to think that Matsuyama should make a birdie, Johnny, from his position there, just short of the green.
So he needs to get this up and in.
Well, as a question, Gary, you were talking about you have to hit a perfect 3-wood to hit it over that bunker. What's wrong with leaving it short of the bunker?
Well,
you got a two-shot lead.
That's true.
You still have a short wedge you can spin. I don't know. It was a risk that I don't feel was needed, but
well, Johnny certainly said the same thing.
Yeah,
wouldn't be a bad play to lay up. Well, he's 5 for 5 today in getting the ball up and down. He certainly needs one here.
Well, he's pitched it well left to the hole here, and he wasn't going to fiddle around over by the water, I guess.
You know, guys, I don't even think he would have considered that a risk that he would hit it in the water over the back. I mean, it's a 355, 360-yard shot. I'm not sure that it's pretty amazing.
There was water left, and he didn't need to bother with either one of them. You know what I mean? He would just sort of get it there with a wedge and have birdie option par.
Yeah, I just figured that he thought if he didn't hit it left, he was going to be fine with the flag over on the left.
Electing to putt. And Matsuyama runs in very quickly to get an idea on the line and the speed. Well done.
Good putt from me, bud.
All right, a little different strategy here. Matsuyama electing to chip the ball. That's going to be good. That's going to be very good.
He's trying to make it.
Well, he was, but I think he's got to be very happy with where it sits. Should be a certain birdie.
Well, Gary, kudos to Tom Weiskopf, huh? I mean, this hole really presents a lot of drama and a lot of twists and turns. It's some hole.
Well, and, kudos to the PGA Tour field staff, too. Normally, the whole location in the back of the green on Sundays, but they put the hole there yesterday to allow the hole to be placed up here on the front left today to give even more options and potential drama.
You mean to better bait the trap, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Rickie for his par. Gonna reach? Nope. So a 5 at the shortest and easiest par 4 on the golf course. Drop Rickie back to 13 under. Matsuyama has a short putt to get to that number as well.
Second time Rickie's bogeyed this little hole. Most of the field's birdieing it. First bogey in 22 holes for Fowler also.
All right, Danny Lee for his birdie. Okay, so he's trying to stage a little comeback. That's 2 birdies in his last 3 holes. And Matsuyama, short putt now to tie. And Danny mentioned earlier a 4th and a 2nd in his 2 previous trips here. Coming into today's round, he was 38 under par in 11 rounds played here. He can add 3 more to it today. So 41 under par for Hideki Matsuyama. More importantly, tied now with Rickie Fowler at 13 under as they go to the last.
As we hover above 18, Johnny, let's set up this tee shot.
Well, you can see the church pew bunkers on the left here. The fairway is about 32 yards wide. The first bunker on the right there is 284, which is not really in play for Rickie. He hit one 3. What was it?
336 was the longest of the day yesterday.
So Hideki, though, is needs to put the pressure on Rickie right here with a good tee shot.
Tied with Fowler at 13 under. Remember, English is in the clubhouse at 12 under.
The left water is a 307 carry if you pull it. So if you pull hook it, it's probably going in the water.
Well, that's on an amazing line. Right down the middle of the fairway.
Piped. Absolutely drilled it, but remember yesterday, Rickie just drilled it farther down there, right down the middle than anyone. As he's discovered some more distance since working with Butch Harmon.
He's got to sort of put that last hole out of the equation and just hit a great drive and then work on the second shot. Swung really
This
hard
is
at
down
it.
the left. He's trying to cut it back, but it's headed at the bunker, maybe water.
It
Did it get across the
skirts
water?
by the church pew bunkers and goes out into the fairway.
Oh.
Wow.
That's a long hit right there.
Let's show you the end of that when it could have been in one of those Oakmont church pew bunkers, but it's going right. Splashes there, and wow, I don't know how that happened.
That's amazing.
Well, I think after the last one, he deserved a break.
At that point, he thinks he's in there.
I'm not sure how that ball did that.
It hit so far in the bunker. That was crazy. Crazy. Well, up at the green, Boo Weekley has made bogey, 2 in the last 3 bogeys for him in those holes. And Mickelson, story of the week.
Shoots an even par round of 71. Not what he was looking for. Perfect day.
Mickelson in the throws. We mentioned the schedule he's going to be playing, Johnny. 6 out of 7 weeks he's going to go here. He's going to be at Pebble Beach. He'll take LA off, then go to the Honda, which we have, which is a great field, and then on to the WGC Cadillac Championship in Miami. So Mickelson tied for 11th at the moment. Fowler and Matsuyama tied for the lead, both in the fairway at 18. Oh, we're all still trying to figure out how Rickie Fowler's tee shot just caromed off the sand here at 18. So we slow it down again. Watch how far inside it hits there, and then just caroms off and into the fairway. And David Faraday, you're down there trying to figure it out as well.
Yeah, well, it hit in the bunker, in the body of the bunker here, nowhere near, actually, just about 3 feet inside the church pew, and then took another bounce about 8 yards up, and then jumped out. You know, so you have to say, you know, the gods were smiling upon him at that stage if they were frowning on 17.
Well, they are the church pew bunkers. So Matsuyama's away. Hideki hit a 327-yard drive to Rickie's 334.
105 yards left, just a sand wedge.
Matsuyama's lone PGA Tour win, the Memorial Jacks tournament 2 years ago. Trying to make his second win here on the PGA Tour. 6-time winner on the Japan Tour. And at the age of 23, battling 27-year-old Rickie Fowler here at the last. Checks up nicely for Matsuyama. And that's about the spot where Harris English was, who just missed. And the crowd favorite, guess who? He's had a tendency to close out strong in previous wins. The record shows it. See what happens here.
Yeah, it's a 93-yard shot. This is kind of a nervous little length from here. Got to be a lob wedge. But if you land it a little short, you could spin it right off the front of this green. You don't want that. Oh, that's pretty good, but it took a big first hop.
Yeah, you want that right there, Raj.
Right on line. Just about hit the flagstick.
Remember when he won his first event in the playoff, the Wells Fargo Championship, in that 18th hole, playoff hole? He just drilled the drive, drilled it right at the stick, kind of like that one. And then when he won the Scottish Open last summer, he also finished off in style, hit a third shot right in there at the last of par 5. And so Fowler showing signs of another clutch performance at this finishing hole, and another look at the big pelt he took out here, Johnny. That's a good size one right there. That's a 1.5 feet or so, maybe.
Yeah, boy, it was painted right at the flag.
So Fowler clad in orange, Matsuyama in yellow come up the 18th tied as Fowler looks to continue to cement his status among the worldwide elite. He's going for his 5th victory worldwide in the last 9 months. And you hear so much about Jordan Spieth, rightly so, Rory McIlroy and Jason Day, but this 5th victory in 9 months would be more than any of those players. And even with a victory, Fowler will not overtake Jason Day as world number 3, but he'll get much closer as this new big 3 continues to turn more and more into the modern day Fab 4 as Rickie joins the crew.
Those 4 tournament wins were the Players, then the Scottish, then Deutsche Bank, and then Abu Dhabi 2 weeks ago. So, but Matsuyama has got the kind of game that he could become one of the top 5 players within a year or 2. So we'll see who's got the right stuff here. Both of them have fairly straight putts.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one and thinking that it might have some right to left in the first part, but not at the hole. If anything, I mean, it might even straighten up and hold out the other way.
Well, Harris English had the same putt and didn't do too much. Looked good, but it
he was looking for it to come back.
Yeah, it just stayed straight. He was trying to make it break left, and it did not. And Rickie's putt is, he could make it inside the hole also, I think. Straight. So one of them probably will make this.
Kind of funny when you look at last week, both Matsuyama and Fowler missed the cut at the Torrey Pines. Here they are tied for the lead, both with birdie tries.
It suddenly got real out here, if you know what I mean.
Real golf fans now, huh?
Yeah, cut the tension with a knife.
It's not the easiest putt to read. One deep breath and go to it.
For birdie. That's a better line than English. Is it ever? Matsuyama drills it home.
Right in the middle of the hole. Couldn't have read it any better. Nice round of 67 and big pressure on Rickie Fowler.
Perfect read. With it all on the line. Hideki, Matsuyama delivers. And Rickie was watching it all the way, kind of getting a look at it from behind. Orange and yellow, and right now yellow has the lead. And so Rickie to get into the playoff, and we've talked about it so many times how he loves the moment. Well, the ante has just been upped again if he's going to stay alive for his 4th PGA Tour victory. This to get it back to the tee at 18. 9.5 feet for birdie.
Might be left center.
Just curls in the right edge.
Didn't look like it was going to go for a minute. Good birdie.
So the desert shootout continues between Fowler and Matsuyama. The guy with the right stuff shows it to you again. Clutch birdie by Fowler on top of the birdie by Matsuyama. And he'll drag most of the fans again with him. Down another trip to 18. Matsuyama watching as he's got the most popular guy out here right now for a playoff at 18. Danny Lee again, who had the 54-hole lead by 3 for par to get in at 11 under, and Danny Lee in the 4th position with that round of 73. All of them good friends, Lee, Matsuyama, and Fowler, but Lee exits, and it'll be a twosome back at the tee at 18. Can't help but remember that great break that Rickie had yesterday at the 15th, as it just stayed out of the hazard, and then the break he got out of the bunker on the tee shot here at 18. But the great ones take advantage, capitalize on breaks. And our Super Sunday here at TPC Scottsdale continues with Matsuyama and Fowler in a playoff. You gotta love this game. You gotta love it when it comes down to the last, and you have to love it when guys like this deliver. Hideki Matsuyama with a clutch birdie that dropped in first. Rickie Fowler saw it, needed to make his from 9.5 feet. And he says, let's go, Hideki, back to the tee at 18 for the sudden death playoff. So that's where we sit right now, as Fowler and Matsuyama will battle for their latest PGA Tour victories, Johnny. And that was some pretty impressive stuff by Fowler and Matsuyama. You know, I didn't think that Fowler putt was going to drop. It looked like it might have squeaked over to the right outside, but it fell.
Yeah, I called it a left center putt, and he started at right center, I think. And it looked like the Tiger Woods putt that Torrey Pines was on the right edge, and it looked like it was going to lip out, and somehow it went in. So very nice, you know, after the bogey by Fowler on 17, lose 2 shots there. You know, you gotta hand it to him. And Hideki made a great read and a great putt right in the middle of the hole. So you got 2 young guns. You know, Rickie Fowler, 27 years old. Hideki, 23 years old. So you got a couple of young guys that are going to maybe be dominating in the future with, you know, of course, Rory and Spieth and Jason Day. Those guys, they might be the top 5 guys in the next year or so.
Yeah, this tournament had the look of Rickie's when he had that 2-shot lead and had that great tee shot at 16. But Hideki battled back as we show you how they got there. This was Rickie Fowler, who began the day 3 back at Danny Lee, his 3rd at the par 4 10th, and Fowler dropping it in. That was his 2nd birdie of the day to get to 12 under, and he had the outright lead at that point as the 54-hole leader Danny Lee faded with some early bogeys, and then his 3rd at the par 5 13th.
Not an easy pitch shot into that bank. Big curl left to right. Darner made that one.
And so that ends up a birdie for Fowler to get to 13 under, and on the same hole, Matsuyama looking for a birdie to stay within 1 of Fowler. So at that point, it's Matsuyama 12 under, Fowler at 13 under with 5 holes to play as we pick it up at the par 5 15th and Fowler 2nd.
After a monster drive, he's like, no problem, right at it, just perfect, right where he was aiming it. A nice eagle try from there.
It would end up a 2-putt birdie for Fowler to get to 14 under. He would par. We head to the 16th, and with this tee shot, this is what I was alluding to earlier, with a 2-shot lead over Matsuyama at that point. Looked like a possible birdie putt here, which could potentially put it away.
That would have put the tournament away if he made that putt.
But
right there
again,
he just played it out to the left for some reason, and way out to the left, 5 inches outside the hole.
So then they get to 17, and Johnny, you did not like this driver choice.
Well, he had a beautiful shot, but it was why hit a club that could do something like this instead of just laying it up for a nice wedge shot into the green for a par option birdie.
And again, he's got a 2-shot lead at this point. And so he ends up bogeying the hole, and Matsuyama's tee shot ended up setting up a birdie here to get them tied at 13 under.
Yeah, he just crushed a 3-wood, which would just put him short of the green, which is, I think, what Rickie should have been hitting, and puts himself in a perfect position.
So they were all tied at 13 under, going to the tee at 18. And here is the tee shot that we're still trying to figure out how it stayed out of this bunker.
He really swung hard at that. The hardest swing he made all day long. He just crushed it, but it never cut. And it lands right in the church pews and hops out of there like the bunker had a little bit of ready-mix cement in there.
Prayer answered from the church pews. And so now Fowler set up beautifully for his second.
Really hits down a 3/4 wedge, and it's going right at the flag.
Right over the top of it. And you can see Matsuyama outside of Fowler. He would attempt his birdie first, and this was as pure as it gets.
What a great read. He played it dead straight, and it went right in the middle.
And so then here's the putt we're talking about that really looked like it might squirt to the right.
Started at right center, and somehow it hung in there.
So they exchange birdies at 18. Matsuyama finishes with 3 birdies down the stretch to get into this one. And again, Johnny, this is why it's one of the great sports. You never know how it's all going to turn out. When Rickie seemed like he was in control, here we are in a playoff.
Well, you got to hand it to Hideki. You know, he finished birdie, and so that's pretty darn strong. And of course, Hideki shot 65, 70, 69, 67. Really good golf there. And Rickie, of course, 65, 68, 70, 67. A little bit struggle there on 17, but bottom line is you got 2 great young players, and it's a lot of fun to see how they do in the playoff here on number 18.
Talked about the break that Rickie got into the bunker at 18. What about the break he got yesterday, Gary, at your hole?
Yeah, that was very interesting. In Friday's second round, Rickie elected to lay up at the par 5, ended up hitting a good shot and made birdie. Then yesterday, out of the rough, he decides to go for the green into with a 5-wood. You can tell by his reaction it's mishit. He thinks it's going in the water. The ball lands inside the hazard and stops dead right there. He was able to go on and make a par. Really, you know, sometimes when you win golf tournaments, Dan, you get a lot of good breaks. Rickie's had a couple of them, that's for sure.
Yep, and then you take advantage of it. He birdies 18 along with Matsuyama. They're headed back to the tee at 18, where Rickie has had a couple of bombs the last couple of days. The good break that we mentioned that happened earlier. Matsuyama and Fowler doing battle at 18 again when we come back. Here comes Rickie back up to the teeing ground at 18, joking around with one of our camera guys, loose as always, Hideki Matsuyama. Coming up to join Rickie. Rickie with a 2-1 playoff record.
Hideki, good playing, bud. Hideki, Jim Parade with Waste Management. Good to meet you. Congratulations. You're going to pick first because you had the honor. Tournament's going to congrats. Hit in the order you pick. I guess I'll take that one. That's yours. Oh, no. Okay, Rickie plays first. All right, we got one up front.
So Fowler to play first. We mentioned his playoff record at 2-1. Hideki's 1-0 with that playoff victory at the Memorial when he beat Kevin Na on the first playoff hole when Na's drive went left into the creek. So Rickie to play first. See if he can grab another long range drive here like he's done the last 2 days.
Well, he might try doing it a little different way than he did on the 72nd hole, but I'm sure he'd love to have it where it ended up.
He definitely used another gear on that tee shot. He has more speed when he wants it. Shot is to play just inside the church pews and play a little baby cut for him.
right side, but this, I think, will be okay.
It's fine, Raj. Not quite as deep as he's been.
It's a good one,
but it's in great shape. Great performance by Matsuyama here in Phoenix. The tie for 4th and the tie for 2nd the last 2 years. Trying to finish on top finally.
Well, that's another good-looking tee shot on exactly the same line.
Good one for Hideki, just behind Fowler. So Matsuyama will play a second first into the first playoff hole of sudden death of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. After they both made birdie at 18, Rickie and Hideki play on.
to 18 here. Rickie just sort of cruising down the fairway, hanging back a little bit.
16th playoff in this event's history. In the tournament that's been around for more than 80 years. The first, though, since 2011, when Mark Wilson beat Jason Duffner on the second extra hole. FedEx Cup rank with a victory. Rickie would move into the top 10, and Matsuyama would be right there at 10.
I think Rickie is walking slowly for a reason. Sort of gathering himself, I think.
I like that, Johnny.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's very smart. You know, slow everything down. Take your time.
So Matsuyama will play first. When you look at the long history of this tournament, you look at the international winners who have won through the years. Hideki Matsuyama with a chance to join that group. The two-time winner Vijay Singh and Bobby Locke back in 1948 winning here in the Valley of the Sun. The Americans have taken charge of it in the last 8 Phoenix Opens. They've won the last 8.
Yeah. Bobby Locke, maybe the greatest putter that ever lived. Hooked every putt. I think I was in diapers when he won that one.
I played with him. How about that? I played with Bobby Locke. Once. Yeah.
I played with him at the Open Championship also. Right behind, I shouldn't say with him, right behind him, and watched him swing. Okay.
Well, 119 yards left for Hideki. Nice clean lie, and with the flag in the front right here, really the only danger is short or a kick off to the right, Johnny.
I think both of them realize probably going to take a birdie to win it, so they got to be thinking birdie. It's just too short a shot not to think birdie.
Come on, Rickie!
That was crisp.
Okay, it'll be a little different line of attack for this birdie coming up, and now Rickie to answer.
Rickie's got a big opening here. That was not a particularly wonderful shot by Hideki. So Rickie needs another wedge like he hit a little while ago.
116 sand iron. Not as good an angle, but take dead aim. Try to get up. Not going to.
Way short.
A big false front and quite a slope up the hill, so I'm not sure he caught all that. It doesn't make sense that it would come up that far short. Let's take a look at this swing, see if we can catch something. Really nice, solid right there. Got a lot of deep divot on that I'm not sure he got all that.
Looked pretty heavy to me.
Yeah.
Looked right over to his caddy, Joe, as if to say, maybe he didn't hit it as well as I could have, but looked like he got way behind that one. That was one of the bigger divots we've seen all week from Rickie, and he takes some of those from time to time.
The thing is, if you're trying to hit it close there, you've got to take the risk of hitting it short to throw it in and cope with that first bounce.
So I got to believe it's advantage Hideki Matsuyama. You know, it's down the hill there by Rickie. Of course, he did pitch one in on number 10 today. Rickie did.
Yeah, I don't think Rickie has the kind of pitch shot here that he can land on the green. I think he's going to have to land it short of the green to try to get it close.
Yeah, it's not a wonderful spot to be, really.
Especially everything at stake. It's one of those really nerve-wracking, just kind of precise shots you got to make.
You could hit that with a lot of different clubs on Roger.
Closely mown grass. But we'll see if that clutch moment happens here for Fowler once again.
He was looking at that front edge of the green, Johnny, and it's very close as to whether he's got room to land it on the green and get it to stop quickly enough. He'd have to really, really pinch it to get it to do that.
Well, there's your answer.
That was just textbook, right? He landed it within, you know, the size of a basketball hoop, right where he wanted.
Tap in par it'll be for Fowler, but Matsuyama will have a chance to put it away.
He's going to putt it out.
So if Hideki's going to beat Fowler here, it's going to take 2 straight birdies. And he did exactly what Roger described. He kind of bumped it into the hill just short of the green. Textbook, and executed perfectly by Fowler. Another pressure pack moment. All right, so Matsuyama, this putt away from putting away the Waste Management Phoenix Open to go along with Jack's event back in 2014.
David, you're right there, a little left to right putt here.
Yeah, not much. Again, you know, there's not a whole lot going on in the bottom part of this green. Just downhill, very quick. Just needs to be careful.
Matsuyama, very consistent here. Has finished 72 holes at 14 under. Scored 270 all 3 years. That's what got him into a playoff. But here's the birdie that can end it. It would be a crushing defeat for Fowler, who looked like it was his at the 16th.
Hey, it was 2 up with 2 holes to go.
They're going to go back to 18. 2 pars at the first sudden death playoff hole. So Fowler survives it. Clutch third by him for the tap-in par, and Matsuyama unable to convert the potential birdie winner. Back to the tee at 18 they go as we play on in Scottsdale. Waste Management Phoenix Open continues on this Sunday at TPC Scottsdale. Fowler and Matsuyama coming off pars at the first sudden death playoff hole, and so they're back again for another crack at 18. If we're still tied, we'll head over to the 10th and see if it can't be decided there.
Well, you would think with the pressure and everything that one of them might crack.
Thank you.
It's not like this hole's a piece of cake.
All these ones, you gotta go back. You gotta go back. This one, these ones right here, you gotta go back.
He's got some shadows Joe's dealing with there to make sure they don't distract Rickie.
It's not that hard. We just gotta go back. Everybody go back. Everybody go back. Yeah. Yeah, and then Morris. There we go. Thank you.
So we'll see if Rickie can drill another one down here.
Picture. You just got to put all the cameras away. We can hear them, all right? Let's go back through the process, right? Holy commitment.
Well, this one's cutting a little bit left of his last one. This is very, very good.
That's another one. Man, this guy can drive it when it's all on the line. Another example. Just out of the divot there.
You know, it's funny with all the noise and the distraction all week, all of a sudden it got quiet. And those little noises are noticeable.
Yeah, they kind of blend in earlier in the week, don't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the people that are still here are real golf fans. They know the game.
The silence is deafening. That's another rip snorter. This one down the left.
These guys are not missing a shot.
Putting on a show at the place they call the greatest show on grass. Fowler and Matsuyama still battling for the title. Who's going to crack first? Fowler and Matsuyama making their way up to another couple brilliant tee shots here at 18. Sudden death playoff. Second time down to 18, and again, if it's going to take a third, they'll go over to the 10th, back to the 17th, back to 18, but maybe it'll be decided here. Phoenix Open is the 8th oldest event on the PGA Tour. It's first played in 1932. To give you an idea of how this tournament has grown, you see the fans thronging in that are still here. At that time, the population of Phoenix, Johnny, and the surrounding communities was around 70,000. There are 2+ million in that population category now, and of course we know how this has set records in attendance this week. So this Phoenix Open, it's one of those tournaments that's special.
They used to play it at Arizona Country Club and the Phoenix Country Club, and on different years. And it was a tournament that all the great players played in. You know, it was an important tournament for the tour. Still is.
Arnold Palmer here winning multiple times in the early 60s, and here we are in 2016 in the desert with 23-year-old Matsuyama battling 27-year-old Fowler for the title.
Both of them have wedge shots. You guys can take over from here.
Matsuyama away, David, so he'll play first.
David, don't you think, being as they both have wedge shots, wouldn't you want to be the first one to hit? I mean, you could really put on a lot of pressure.
Well, having some technical difficulties with David's mic right now. Try to get that taken care of as Matsuyama steps in. You can see the drive, 322, so he's got just 109 left. So we'll see, Roger, if Matsuyama can put a little pressure on Fowler with a nice wedge.
Well, as before, I mean, you have to take on that front edge. If you land it short, you're coming back down off the hill like Rickie did earlier, but you can't land it too far on if you're going to hit it stone dead to the hole. Sand iron here hoisted way up in the air.
Right over the stick, lands soft, little checkup on it.
Pretty good spot to putt from, not much break.
From above.
Really hit a solid strike there, and it went, like you said, almost got caught up in the flag of the flagstick. And leaves himself just a putt that breaks a little right, not much.
Fowler stepping right in.
102.
Time for a leaner.
Well, this is definitely carrying it a little further than the last one. It's that first big hop down the check.
Little birdie putting contest from there. Again, remember what they did in regulation. Well, we've been talking about it all week, how popular Rickie is. And here's a nice wide view of his fans watching this approach. So Rickie trying to finish it off. Matsuyama not going anywhere. This is a battle, isn't it? Alluded to the putts in regulation. This was coming off a birdie for Matsuyama at 17 and Fowler's bogey there, which evened it up. So Matsuyama was first to stroke it. Rickie going over there getting a good look at it, and it was absolutely dead perfect.
Great read. He played it straight and it went right in the middle.
And here's the one that looked like it might not drop.
Got to the right edge and then came back for some reason.
So that was regulation. First playoff hole to exchange pars as Rickie got it up and down nicely. And here they are again, lined up for birdies. There's a Rickette, as you called him earlier, Johnny. According to ShotLink, Fowler is 2 inches further away than Matsuyama. 14 feet 6 inches versus 14.4.
Roger, did you get a good look at this? Is it like a left edge putt or something?
Yeah, there's not a lot of break in it, but I think they're bringing in Slugger White to determine who might be away. Rickie's going first. I think you got to favor the left side, Johnny. Yeah. If you hit it dying speed, which is really, I think, the kind of way to hit this putt, it's got to die to the right. I have to believe.
You'd think so with Phoenix that way, and you know the whole hole goes sort of slopes that way. But there's not a lot of break. Definitely, both of these putts are not tough putts, except for they're nervous.
And the tournament's on the line. Can Rickie continue to enhance his late hole and playoff reputation and land another one in the bottom? This time he goes first. It was the opposite in regulation. Another one dead center.
That was pure. Couldn't have done better. There was no help on that one. It was just right in the middle.
When the Fowler fans wake up, they can sense it.
Just perfect speed. Just fell in the front of the hole.
Is it finally going to be orange over the yellow-clad Hideki Matsuyama here? Matsuyama with a chance to do exactly what Rickie did to him in regulation and go on top of that birdie.
How much is a ticket here? It was worth it.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, David. Welcome to the crew.
Not that tough a putt. I think he could make it inside left or maybe even left center.
This to move it on to the 10th. Oh, he knew it right away. He walks it in. And for the second time in the last 3 times they played 18, Matsuyama and Fowler exchange birdies to move it on to a 3rd sudden death hole at 10.
That's really impressive. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, really, that's impressive. I mean, Matsuyama's birdied 3 out of the last 4
Look at this.
holes.
You don't think he knew that was heading down? Yeah. Got the feeling that maybe Rickie that time felt, you know, God, I've birdied this hole 3 times now. He birdied it on Friday. He birdied it in regulation earlier today. Birdie again there at 18. You maybe thought that he had enough, but Hideki just comes back and matches him again.
I mean, Hideki is really a fine player, and he's just moving into his own at 23 years old. He could be, you know, like I said, the top 5 best players ranking-wise within a year. So, I mean, he's shown that he's got the right stuff, the way he makes these putts. And he's hit pure shots. Remember on 17 after Rickie went in the water, hit that great shot on the front edge. Make a 2-putt birdie there. And, of course, he birdies 18th. Well, he's birdied 3 out of the last 4 holes he's played.
Yep. Gotta believe, Rickie. Matsuyama, the birdie 17 and 18 in regulation, and then the latest one there, which moves him on to the 10th. The par 4, where they are now, 434-yard hole. And Fowler 2 under at this hole, while Matsuyama has played it even for the week.
.315 is the adjusted through at that bottom, right?
Hey, just put all the cameras away. Just put all the cameras away. All the cameras away. Away! The cameras away, sir. Thank you.
Well, Johnny, ever since we made the turn, he has driven the ball perfectly. Really, most every hole. Got away with one on the last hole of regulation, but with the exception of that, he has hit that little cut in long, too.
Yeah, it's impressive. This, like we talked about in regulation, he does not need to hit a driver here, but because of that little cut he's got, he just goes with it.
That flat bill of Rickie's looking right into the Arizona sun, which will set at a little after 6 o'clock local time.
No, you're right. Big bunker on the right, folks. Big bunker. You got to be careful to overcut this. Not that it's terrible being in that bunker, but you want to be in the fairway.
Well, this one not cutting up the left.
Yeah, not the best there. Down in that little hollow.
And we can see it, but he knew right away that this one didn't feel good.
watch it.
So Matsuyama, who's put on a clinic here as of late. Chance to take advantage.
He hasn't hit a bad shot in a long time. You know that? If you analyze where he's hit the ball.
Well, the flag is on the skinny side there on the left, so if Matsuyama can put this in the fairway, definitely in the strong spot. Rickie may not be good there. It looks beautiful from here.
Right down the right side, I think. Yep, just hits that. Not much roll. I thought it might get a hop there, but it's a good spot with the back left hole location. He's got a good angle. Rickie, not so good.
Third playoff hole at the 10th. Advantage Hideki Matsuyama. They birdied the 18th in regulation. And then in the first playoff hole, they parted. And then in the second time they played it in sudden death, Fowler went first. Center cut, followed up by Matsuyama, who was so confident he knew just after it got off his blade he was headed to the 10th. Third hole in sudden death continues in the desert. As Hideki Matsuyama and Rickie Fowler come up to their tee shots at the 10th, their gallery has increased a little bit here. You've got Danny Lee on the left here, who played in the final group and was the 54-hole leader. And you got Bubba Watson over there with the shorts, walking next to him. And Steve Sands, we join you. You're out there somewhere.
We are right to the right of Bubba and Danny Lee. Danny, very close friends with Hideki Matsuyama, knows Rickie Fowler very well as well. Of course, they played together in the final group today, but they're very good friends off the golf course. Bubba Watson, very close with Rickie. In fact, Rickie, whenever he plays the Arnold Palmer Invitational, he stays at Bubba's house in Orlando. They spend a lot of time together, sharing houses at major championships and other places all around the world. So a couple of friends out here watching their other friends try to pick up another PGA Tour victory.
And also members of the Golf Boys video.
Never mind that. Ricker's got it.
Which is taking a big backseat to Jake Trout, the ball washer's new hit single. So that's a whole other story. Seemed like a long time ago, didn't it? All right, so set up this Fowler second shot for us at 10, Roger.
Well, I don't like the lie of the ball. He has 152. He's on a bit of an upslope, which helps. But the grain of the grass, Johnny, the ball's sitting down and the grass is not long, but the grain is coming against him. So I don't think he's going to have a very easy time spinning this ball.
And that kind of lie, you lose power, right? You're going through it, you lose club head speed on that kind of a lie.
Put them away, thanks. You can hear them.
It's hard to make the ball compress really well into the grain.
Take our time.
Yeah, I'm looking until it starts at it. And then
You see that practice swing, how the grass popped up.
What do you got flying out of here?
I think it's going to tumble a little.
So you got it flying a little more than the number?
Yeah, I think it's going to get the cover. I just want to get it to cut so it comes down a little softer.
Yeah, and coming down right of it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
This is a wedge.
So we'll see if he can get the normal amount of power with this into the grain lie. I'll be surprised if he gets it back to the hole.
Ball came out low.
Whoa.
I don't think this will have
Mackerel.
any spin at all.
He did get a jumper.
Rockets off the green.
I'm not so sure he didn't knife that one.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, it looks like it. Yeah, he sculled that ball.
He did. He bladed that.
He just flat hit it in the belly, just under the equator. It's one way to get it up there, I guess.
So Rickie over the green and Matsuyama with an even clearer advantage. Let's take an even closer look at this, Johnny. You can see as it descends, this blade just hits ball first.
Yeah, he's hitting. It's a skull is what we call that shot, a skull iron shot. And but he did chip it in from over the green earlier on this hole.
So Matsuyama can put some big time pressure, David, on Rickie now.
Yeah, 133 yards, and I have to think that You know, I mean, it's a pitching wedge, certainly, but can he get there with a big sand wedge? As big a bounce as they're getting on the greens here, you know, he's going to put it in right of the hole, I'm sure, Johnny.
It's a good angle, though. He's got, you know, he's got a little, you know, opening here, and he should take advantage of it.
And what little draft there is out here is in his face, which helps actually with this shot.
The players I talked to said this green and number 1 were the firmest greens on the course, where you get the biggest bounce.
He has pitching wedge. Not all of it.
Must be right.
No, he didn't like it. He just shoved that.
Not that bad, but you can see how hard that green is. Much harder than the other ones.
So Matsuyama with a chance to apply the pressure. Doesn't really do what he wanted. Fowler battling to stay alive here.
Just stay really still, too. Thanks.
Rickie Fowler surveying his 3rd shot at the 10th. Looks like it's sitting up decent, Raj.
Yeah, it's not a bad lie. It's further away from the green than his chip in from earlier in the day, and so it's a tougher shot.
And you talked about it, Raj. Here it was earlier in regulation today when he was at 11 under. This is how he picked up his 2nd birdie of the day. Bingo. So at least some good vibes from earlier. Here we go again.
This will be very easy to knock this 8 feet by. Those eyes. Break to the right.
He's got to really hustle.
Got a little muffy, I think.
That's a nasty putt he's got left, too.
A little muffy at impact.
He knew that it was going to come up well short. So for the 2nd time, Hideki Matsuyama is going to have a chance to win it.
Yeah, Rickie's giving him some openings. Rickie hit a poor drive, a poor 2nd, and a poor 3rd. Of course, the great equalizer is the putter sometimes, but
well, I'm not sure that you can really try to make this one that he's got. Just lay it stiff and leave it up to Rickie, but it's kind of up the hill a little bit, then crests and down the hill left to right, very fast around the hole, as you said, Johnny.
yeah, you should just cozy it down there and see if Rickie can make another pressure putt. It's hard to keep your sort of energy and concentration, you know, hole after hole of pressure golf.
I'm kind of surprised he doesn't have the flag in here in this situation.
Yeah, some people like it in, some don't.
This is 36 feet to win it.
Big long backstroke.
Is he gonna make it? No, and it's gone by. As David was alluding to, you can't be a little too frisky with it, and so
took that putter back so far. Did you see that? He took it back like it was an uphill putt.
Looked like he might ram it in the back of the cup there for a
Yeah,
second.
it was a good putt. A little easier, it was in.
But it was motoring.
Well, let's take a look at it one more time. Watch how far back he takes this on a downhill putt.
That looked great right there. He thought it was going to drop. Again, he is not in for par, and obviously either is Fowler, who's well outside him for his par attempt coming up right now.
Yeah, this is not an easy putt. It's outside left.
Yeah, this is a nasty little down away from you going right. Very hard putt. You have to hit it perfectly to hole it. You're not going to make a mistake and get away with it here.
How clutch is that?
You know, those are the kind of nerves we saw out of Tiger Woods, and you know, he got that gear like Jordan Spieth. They got that gear with the putter. They can just make the pressure putts.
Yep, I can't. You know, the Players Championship just keeps coming into mind for Rickie. That day when he went 6 under in the last 6 holes in regulation, and then he had all those incredible shots and birdies at the Island Green at 17, and then just continuing on from there and looking for his 5th victory in the last 9 months. That would be more than Spieth. That would be more than Day, more than McIlroy, and now it's Matsuyama with a little nervous, ticklish putt for par to move it to the 17th and the 4th playoff hole.
Yeah, Rickie just shrank the hole.
Yep,
for sure.
It's not a hard putt, really. It's uphill. What do you think? Inside right or something?
He's gone 26 holes without a bogey. And now 27, and now to the 4th playoff hole. Oh my goodness. Well, golf is the name of the game here in Phoenix, and they play on right through kickoff.
Who knows how long this is going to go?
And Bubba and Danny Lee are enjoying it. This guy, just when you think he might crack, comes up with beautiful up and downs. That one from well outside the hole, and then Matsuyama. Solid. And they go over to the 17th. The short par 4. And again, that was the hole that got Rickie into problems earlier in regulation when he had a 2-shot lead as he came to the 17th. And this was, again, the choice of club, Johnny, that you were not thrilled to see.
Well, you have a 2-shot lead with 2 holes to go. You don't need to be hitting a driver that could have this happen to you. You just hit something that's either laid up with an iron or hit a 3-wood just short of the green and try to make birdie or par from there and not take the water into play. And of course, if you pull it, it would have been in the water also. Where the 3-wood, you can get away with those misses.
That was Fowler's only bogey of the day. He dropped back to 13 under, and while Matsuyama birdied to tie him, they both birdied 18 in regulation. And then they went off to the 1st playoff hole. And here we are on the 4th playoff hole. And Gary Koch, haven't heard from you in a while. I know you haven't gone anywhere.
Here. Absolutely. And boys are coming back to this very interesting drivable par 4 17th. Seen a little bit of everything here today. There have been some eagles made, plenty of birdies, and the occasional bogey with an errant tee shot. And Johnny, not only, you know, great design drivable par 4, but great location in the round as well, right here toward the end.
And there's a pretty good throng of people going down the right side of this hole. Can you see those, Gary?
Oh yes, absolutely.
A good target. Where are you looking?
Well, this is a great playoff hole right here. I think that one player will make birdie and one won't, and this will be the end of it.
I mean, it's going to turn over. Yep, perfect.
Well, different club selection for Rickie this time, Raj.
No driver this time, fellas. This looks to be the 5-wood, too. It looks to be a shorter wood. I don't believe it's a 3.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, guys.
Back there in that shade, but it doesn't seem long enough to be a 3-wood.
Definitely setting up to the right this time, Johnny. He's trying to play a draw.
Well, he is shaping it right to left, but this is maybe going a little bit too far left.
In the water again. That is now the 9th time that Rickie Fowler has driven the ball in the water on this par 4 hole in his career here at the TPC Scottsdale.
9th time, Gary?
9th time.
That's hard to believe.
9th time. Now he's in that moan, and where the cattails have been cut down, Johnny. We've seen some players be lucky and
roll up the pant legs and give it a try, but
play to hit it out of there, but we'll have to wait and see.
That ball went down. You couldn't get it out of there with a cherry bomb.
All right, Matsuyama also with less than driver.
I imagine it'll be less than left as well. Well, that one should be just fine.
Nothing to worry about there.
No, something obviously bothered him in his swing, but by that reaction, but the result was just fine. Very similar position to where he was in regulation. Take another look.
Something bothered him.
Yeah. Shot turned out fine, though.
I'd be thrilled with that one.
No kidding. All right, Matsuyama just short of the green at the par 4. Rickie Fowler in trouble. Stay with us. We're back here at the 17th, the 4th extra hole at this Waste Management Phoenix Open. Rickie Fowler's ball has found the water. Raj, any chance at all that it's in that cattail area he might play it?
No, it is down in the water and not playable, so he will have to drop out and pitch across this hazard to not a whole lot of green to work with.
Well, we've had 10 players hit their tee shots in the water here today, and only 3 have been able to make a par.
Well, Rickie and their caddy are going to probably do some talking about how they played this hole if this ends right here. This hole obviously has got his number, right, Gary?
Well, it's certainly.
Make sure with Slugger, we're all good. We all good here, Slugger? Just want to make sure we're all good. You said it went right in. Right there. Thanks, Slugger.
Yeah, obviously, with having hit the ball in the water as many times as he has, you know, like you said, John, you might think about a different strategy just once. And you know, once you go in the water, it is not easy to get it up and down. Make a par.
Well, Gary, I have to correct myself. I thought the ball entered the hazard a little further left, and he would have had to pitch across the water, but he doesn't have to do that. But it's still not a lot of green to work with.
Yeah, I thought it went in more left than where he has figured it went in, just a little bit.
Well, they have marshals there, and the marshals mark the spot where the ball last crosses the margin of the hazard right away. So you have to rely on them.
Yeah, figure out who it is. Yeah. Thanks.
Now it looks like they'll determine who's away.
Yes, they've asked Slugger White to make that determination. And he's pointed at Rickie. It'll be Rickie's play.
Probably not getting the hole for a routine birdie.
That'd be his style, wouldn't it? Just when you think it's over.
It's got to go. That had a little clicky sound to it. Looked like he carried it as far as he wanted to.
Just a tiny bit of scoop, I think, in it. Added a little loft.
Take another look here, Johnny. The right hand worked under quite a bit.
And a little added loft at impact.
All right, Matsuyama, very straightforward shot, very similar, David, to the one he had in regulation.
Yep, it's just a little right to left down the hill. Just needs to be careful not to overdo it.
Needs to go a little. Well,
not his best.
No, and not over yet.
Gary Matsuyama must be wondering what it takes to win this tournament, huh?
He has played some phenomenal golf here, Dan. You documented it. Fourth, second, now in a playoff.
And he's had 7 top 5 finishes on tour since the start of last season. That's the most by anyone without a victory in that span. So Hideki has been knocking on the door, not only here but elsewhere, and just hasn't been able to finish it off. Is he about ready to finish Rickie off here on the 4th playoff hole?
The pendulum has been swinging, hasn't it? Pointing towards both of them. Different occasions here. Either one of them could have won this.
That's what you were telling me, right? Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So Rickie to putt first. Is for par.
Does this move a little left toward that water to his left?
Raj, I think that's a good call. It's not a lot, but I think he definitely wants to go that direction.
Based on everything we've seen, you would think this is going down.
He's been making all these.
No, didn't make that one. That was quick up and out. That was pushed.
We'll turn out the lights. The party is over after an hour of playoffs. Yeah, this hole is his nemesis. Bogeyed it both times.
Gary documenting 9 balls in the water through the years here for Fowler at 17. It has had his number.
So 2 putts. Matsuyama to win.
Well,
I think he can handle this one.
You bet he can. So Matsuyama finally closes the deal on Rickie Fowler, who probably will think Johnny long and hard about what happened at 17 today.
3 bogeys on number 17 this week for Rickie Fowler in 5 tries on a hole that you should birdie half the time.
He had a 2-shot lead in regulation as he went there for the first time.
A great week, to be sure, for the fans, for the players, for everyone involved with the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Record crowds turning out and so many big names in the game here to deliver excitement. And throughout the week, we saw plenty of it. And Rickie Fowler's dialed in. All these young stars, Matsuyama yet to turn 25 years of age. They all have big things in store for the PGA Tour for years to come. You get the feeling. Log on to PGATour.com. You'll hear from these players, highlights and analysis, all at PGATour.com. This concludes the PGA Tour's final round coverage of the Waste Management Phoenix Open from TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona.